Hey everybody, what's up? This is Mr. Extrodin, and I'm not alone. I'm with Tebello and I'm with Buckmeister. This is
What's
the
up?
Africa is Next podcast. All right, we're going to be doing something completely different. By that, I mean we're going to be touching on a new series, which is Bleach. Bleach was created by Time Kubo, and the anime, I believe, was released in the early 2000s. I think
Mm.
2005, somewhere there. I
Yeah,
could be
the
wrong.
first season has that 2005 era animation thing going on, so
Mm,
that sounds
That's
about
right.
right.
right, right. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I thank you so much for even checking us out. As I've mentioned before, this is the Africa is Next podcast where we discuss all things geeky, whether it's comic books, whether it's anime, whether it's manga. And by the way, the two people that I have over here, they also have their own YouTube channels. Tebello has KC Media, and on there he has the Nerdgasm podcast, he has Geek Sport, he has all other channels that you can check out there, which are pretty cool. And then Buckmeister has two YouTube channels. One is called Buckmeister Cool Reacts, and another one is called MeisterGeek Media. So if you want to know more about indie comic book creators or people that have worked on other things like this, Clyde Beach, who worked on Kwezi, the comic, the South African comic superhero. Yeah, he interviewed that guy. So yeah, if you want to check out that kind of content, please check that out. I'm gonna leave this links in the descriptions below so that you can check these guys out. You will
Chief,
not.
don't forget to plug yourself. You also did a lot of
Yeah,
indie.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
So yeah, with me, as I've mentioned, this is Africa's Next, but I also have African Frame where we touch on movies. We dissect movies, whether it's The Dark Knight, Kill Bill, or anything movie related. I also have a hip hop podcast, and I have Mr. Extraordinary Talks where I talk to artists as well, whether it's actors or comic book writers or artists, things of that nature, or even animators for that matter. But yeah, now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna touch on the first season of Bleach. Basically,
Is it the first season? Oh, yeah, 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 it does. It does. Yeah.
what introduced us to, I guess, all these characters that we love to this day, and yeah, something that is considered to be one of the big three, which is Bleach.
It
Mm.
is the big three, not one of the big three. It's like I always find that statement very funny. The big three was Bleach, One Piece, Naruto.
But
I
did
don't care what other
you do know at a point there was this controversial thing where they took out Bleach and they replaced it with Dragon Ball, right?
no, no, Dragon. Okay, that was shonen being shonen because at
Mm.
that point the Kubo was going through his feels. We all get that, but the big three came after Dragon Ball because
Yes.
it was Dragon Ball, the
Right.
forefather of them all, and then we had One Piece, Naruto, Bleach.
No,
Also
it's
because like they are, as Tebello was saying, they are the children of Goku in the sense that everything that people perceived Goku to be, you find those shades within Naruto, within Luffy, and within Ichigo big time. So
Oh,
like I don't count like Dragon Ball to me counts as like the era of Sailor Moon, even though I
Yeah,
think
yes.
it's
No.
better than
Right.
Sailor Moon personally. I
Right.
know Sailor Moon fans are
Ooh,
gonna be very upset.
ooh, ooh. What have you done?
I know all the
I,
people. What's her name? Sailor Starlight or
no,
whoever
no, no.
she is.
You you need
Sailor Junior, Sailor Venus. She solos go. I don't care about who solos who. I don't care.
Guys, the lady who voices the voice actress, is it the same person who voices Misty in Pokemon?
what?
I don't know.
Sounds
I
familiar.
can't
Sounds
confirm.
similar. Okay. But anyway, the reason I was saying one off is because, like he said, there's also Naruto and One Piece, right? That's the only reason I said one off. But yeah,
Oh,
I mean, those three titles were carrying Shonen Jump at some stage.
yeah,
Like that's kind of why it became the
yes.
big three because they
Uh,
were
they
like the highest
they kept
sellers.
it relevant.
yeah.
Let's be honest. And you guys could maybe disagree with me, but I think out of the big three, okay, so let me try to see if I can break it down. Bleach has the best art, right? One Piece clearly has the best story, not according to me, but just according to how it's perceived, right?
I don't know. That's also up for debate simply because One Piece also is very formulaic.
Right.
Like it's very easy to see. I mean, again, it's amazing that it has 1,000 chapters, and like the way Oda references characters from episode 2 that you didn't even think about, and then you go, oh my god, if I go back to episode 2, that's when this character was first introduced, yada yada yada.
Yes.
But they always have to go to an island. They always have to get separated. Then they always have to go find each other afterwards. Like that's how almost every arc, if not every arc, starts.
Okay, maybe let me say then it's the highest selling manga.
It's the highest selling, but I'm saying people say it's the best story. I get where they're coming from, but there is issues with it. It's not
So
perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
Thank you for trying to be polite and tactful. I'll put it into simple context. One Piece fans and soapy fans, same WhatsApp group. If you like,
okay, I'm
if you
safe
like
from
One
Sailor Moon
Piece,
fans because they're all coming for him.
come and do not go after your moms after they've been watching The Ball and the Beautiful for 500 years. You guys are the exact same people. I mean, even the references from episode 2, you see it. You see foreshadowing in all these soapies.
But like One Piece, the characters change. Come on.
My grandmother used to be my nanny back then, but she couldn't tell me she was my nanny when I was a kid. So she used to be she used to pretend she was my nanny, but she was also my grandmother. Blah blah blah. From episode 1, then suddenly 20 years later, you find out not only was she your grandmother, she was the queen
let's
of
be
Spain.
fair.
Same
Let's
WhatsApp,
be fair,
same
man.
WhatsApp.
Let's be
But,
fair.
okay. The thing
Anyway,
that
let's continue.
I want to say, it's the thing that really, really fascinated me about One Piece to this day is how it's remained like in the top 3 since its inception. I think it was like in 1997 until even till today in 2023. It has been on the top 3, bro,
Yes.
in terms of rankings.
I mean, here's the thing also. I think, like I'm saying, Oda is a great creative. I don't know what he's going to make after One Piece, though. I don't know. But I think also because it's the one thing that Shonen knows that it garnered its audience, and it's like this guy wants to write. Like, One Piece is kind of like the perfect manga for Shonen Jump.
As a business, yes.
Yes, as a business. And I think that's part of the reason why it's always up there. Because Oda refuses, like, they're not like what's this Ichigo became master of soul reaping or whatever. Naruto became the Hokage. It's just like everyone else is done, but Luffy is still going.
Still looking for the One Piece. Like, yo, dog, you've been looking for the One Piece.
The question you should ask ourselves is he actually looking for the One Piece at this point in time? All I'm just seeing is someone going with destroy the government. This is tired right now.
You see, this for me is similar to that whole Kakashi face reveal thing. It's like this One Piece, it better be worth it. Imagine people watching this thing for like 1,000 episodes, and only to find out that the One Piece is like this.
I'm gonna tell you
What the
right
friends
now.
you made
My
along the way.
theory, it's about the power of friendship. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that whole thing that the journey is more important than the destination.
Yeah.
Come on. But anyway,
Getting back to this manga.
I just want to say, and if I'm right, I'm going to milk this till the day I die. There's pieces is a pirate term. You know, there's a term called like 1 piece of 8. Pieces of 8 are basically like a piece of $1. So they used to a term of currency. So 1 piece, if it ends up being true to what the pirate terminology is, they're gonna find it's going to be some bastard or coin or part of a coin, and then people are going to lose that shit because that's that's 1 piece of 8 is.
Well, I mean, he still becomes the pirate king, I guess. So that's what counts, I guess. Who
At
knows?
this point is who's going to stop him? I mean, I've seen the Gear 5 fight. Yeah, I finally got over the how goofy it looked and actually watched the fight from beginning to end. Wow. Yeah, I can see what people were like going crazy about because it does have a nice build up. So after this fight, what else has he?
Oda will find a way. Oda is also, like the king of.
My thing is everybody's arc gonna be resolved before Luffy finds the One Piece? Is Zoro gonna be the greatest swordsman? You know what I'm saying? Like, how's that gonna work?
Well, I mean, he still has to fight some of the, I forget, like some of those dudes of the government also have swords. So until Zoro beats them, he can't be the best. They still have to actually go to explore the Grand Blue because I don't think they've explored the Grand Blue. So that's going to be the thing for Sanji. Nami, I think, has reached what she's
Yeah,
supposed to reach.
yeah.
Chopper, I think, also has resolved his arc. I don't think he has an arc to go on anymore.
What was his arc anyway? Isn't he like a doctor or something?
Yeah, to be the best doctor is
Oh.
basically his thing or whatever. And the one I guess who has to go on an arc still is Usopp, from what I know.
But didn't he like get all buff now? He's not a coward anymore.
He's
Is
still no.
is he still
You
a coward?
clearly have not caught up, sir. So never mind.
No.
Okay. Anyway.
Hence, the bold and the beautiful shonen style. Fight,
No,
fight
but
me One Piece fans, but I'll.
he looked completely like, I don't know, after a certain time skip, he like buffed up. I was like, oh flip, that's Uso. But anyway, story for another day.
Yeah, that's a story
But
for another. I don't think we'll ever cover One Piece
I,
on this podcast.
I need to make a disclaimer. Like, I'm not saying I hate One Piece. I'm just saying I'm calling it what it is. It's a soapy. Don't
Right.
hate the soapy lovers if you love One Piece. If you love One Piece, respect all your aunties and
He's the one like,
abuelas and magogos who used to watch Generations, Movango, Isidingo, Generations, the both Days of Our Lives, The Young and the Restless, you name them. You see the way they were religiously watching it, that's you. And you're in the same WhatsApp group, embrace your family. That's all I'm saying. Let's go to Bleach.
the hate mail we're gonna get from this thing.
What?
Anyway, so
Come
yeah,
at you know where my at is. There you go. Find me. Go say
Gomu no.
bring it out. They
I
don't
just
know.
wanted-
One of
so-
my favorite heroes is Sephiroth. I want chaos. I want to bring the mimetic legacy. Don't worry.
I just wanted to say that just to give people a bit of trivia. So Ted Kubo was working on a manga called Zombie Powder. He had released a few volumes of that, and unfortunately, it didn't perform well. And he was discouraged because he was working on other things beforehand, and they just didn't.
Is Zombie Powder good?
I didn't finish it. I think I only read like the first volume, but it was not bad.
Oh, I want. Is it done? Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
read something that's I like and then it has an unsatisfactory ending.
before he did Bleach, I think he finished it off because I think when you get cancelled, you have to finish the story, right? Whether you like it or not.
No, some manga have just gone off. Some manga there's just no like. There was this one that I really liked that was called Breaker Waves. It was like a martial arts manga. And it was having a good build up, and then apparently it was not selling. So then the last episode just ends with "I'll see you next time," and then there's never a next time.
Oh, I really don't know how Zombie Powder ends. I don't know.
Maybe I'll check it out one day because I like Kubo's style a lot. It's a very good looking style.
So he got a letter from Akira Toriyama where he encouraged him. I think he gave him some advice, and then Bleach was born, and here we are.
So Akira, you can be a hero in real life, but you can't make Goku a hero. What's happening?
You can't make Goku a
God
hero.
damn it.
You can't. Okay, can't make Goku a hero or can't make Vegeta a hero. Cause which one is it? Wow.
Yeah, she's such a frustrating person to be a fan of because, like, you see what the power of inspiration did. You birthed one of the greatest, debatable, but still impactful mangas and animes in the history of anime land, but you don't realize why people want Goku to be a hero. God damn it.
Not
But
you saying anime land.
One thing I've also noticed about the children of Akira, I'll just call them that, is they saw everything that didn't work in Dragon Ball and they tried to avoid it. Well, except maybe for Masashi Kishimoto turning Yamcha into Kiba, I think. But that's pretty much
Well,
it.
Kiba never gets embarrassed. At least that never happens.
Didn't he smell like Naruto's fart?
Yeah, but I'm saying that there's that, and then there's getting bodied by a Cyberman.
Yeah.
And then never recovering, and then also losing your girlfriend to the alien that killed you.
That's my point though, that they basically saw that, okay, this is not gonna work. We're not gonna do this. We're gonna do that.
I think the one who did it the best was Oda, personally, if we're talking objective story-wise, because he found a way to balance everyone in the crew and make everyone in the crew effective.
Yeah.
Instead of having like a Goku centered, he's the only one that gets major action scenes type thing.
Also, because you can see each character has their own nuances. One
Yeah.
is a swordsman, one will punch you to death, one will kick you to death.
Yeah, so
The navigator. It's like
yeah.
all important. It doesn't mean you have to punch and kick to be the most important character. Like,
Yeah.
not a navigator, you guys don't know where you're going.
But I mean, to Kubo's credit as well, he does balance people pretty well in Bleach from what I'm seeing so far. I mean, I finished Bleach before, but I haven't read everything.
We'll get to that.
We'll
It
get there.
starts off. You see
Yeah.
the thing. You think we get to. Let me stop stuttering. The thing you get to see with Bleach is that it has a very solid foundation. Each character has got its own nuance and own set of potential.
Yes.
And then when it gets going, then it falls into the Dragon Ball Z trap. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later.
And
But
to
right
be
now,
honest, to be honest, sorry to cut you off. It seems like he relied on the Gotei 13 to keep the story relevant or to keep it interesting. If the Gotei 13 didn't exist.
Well, we'll get to the Gotei when we get to the Gotei. Let's stick with season 1. I don't think it necessarily fell in the Dragon Ball Z trap, and I'll tell you why. Well, especially for this first season.
this first season it didn't.
It was good.
I just sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was a solid foundation. It was perfect.
Mm.
In terms of each character has its own.
I mean, there is Dragon Ball Z shades in this thing. All right, so let's get to that first episode. So we open with the first episode, and Ichigo can see ghosts, and he's beating up some guys because they're troubling a ghost or whatever. Yeah. And it's just like, first off,
about that kick.
Yeah. And it's about 15.
That's another thing that I actually appreciate about Ichigo this time around. He's actually a pretty funny character. Like, I know people look at Luffy and they laugh at Luffy pretty hard and all of that stuff. And even Naruto is very funny from time to time. But yeah, Ichigo has like a pretty solid foundation in terms of humor. He actually got quite a few chuckles out of me, especially when he was beating up the bad guy, beating up these dudes, and he's just stomping that one dude in the face, and he's just like, then you have to fix that thing. You have to fix it when you broke it or whatever, and it's just like, he doesn't even know, this guy doesn't even know what he's getting stomped out for. He can't even see why Ichigo is mad. So it's just like, I got my ass kicked by a crazy kid.
a crazy redhead.
Yeah. I think the difference between Ichigo and the other two main characters of the big three is that he's not goofy. He is funny, but he's not goofy. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. He
like,
never.
You don't think Ichigo's an idiot like Goofy?
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's a
no.
student.
He does do things where I'm just like, hey, why? But like he's quicker to get his head in the game than the other two. Like Luffy. Okay. Luffy for me is like, he's a person where if he knows he's fine, he'll goof off and goof around if he knows he's okay.
Yes.
Whereas Naruto is the person where he'll just run in headfirst, it doesn't matter anyway. Whereas like Ichigo is the dude where he'll go off half-cocked first, but as soon as he gets knocked on his ass, he gets his head back into gear and he's like, okay, let me actually see what the hell I'm doing.
Okay. And to your point, that's like the angst you'd expect from a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not mature enough to see the situation for what it is.
Right.
But when he gets in trouble, he has a situational awareness, and also he's got, quote unquote, his training to kick back to and say, oh wait, I'm in trouble now. Let me get this thing sorted out. Which Naruto, for a kid growing up in a literal war zone, I'm surprised he's that stupid.
I'm not. He had no teachers.
Yeah,
Bro
but
failed.
He literally went to school.
He failed it. I'm saying he failed the academy how many times? He failed the entrance exam how many times? Also, the teachers didn't like him. Like
Yeah.
Iruka was not helping him until like he was being chased down for being a demon fox.
It actually makes sense because this is someone who wants attention, who needs validation, who doesn't have parents. So his behavior sort of makes sense because, okay, look, today I'm gonna go paint the Hokages, the Mount Rushmore of Hokages.
We-
Tomorrow I'm gonna do sexy jutsu in class. The next day so it's like this guy always needs constant attention, not just because he's not getting it at home, and the third doesn't really care. So
we gotta do Naruto. We
we've
have
got
to
to
do
do
Naruto.
Naruto because the third is the worst Hokage. I don't care what I don't care what the third apologists have got to say. He is the worst with
I don't
extra
know.
O's.
I don't
No,
know.
I cannot forgive him. I cannot.
We'll
okay.
talk about it. We'll talk about it. Anyway,
Anyway,
but
And
getting
then
back to this, one thing I want to ask you guys. You know
Mhm.
how what's this? We'll talk about it more when we do get to the arc. But one thing I'm noticing is that Ichigo's dad is constantly attacking Ichigo, right? And like my son knows these moves, etc., etc. Do you think that Kubo was trying to subtly insert that the reason why Ichigo is so combat adept is because his secret Shinigami dad was training him throughout his entire life?
exactly.
oh, is that what it is?
No, because
Yeah,
like the things that Ichigo can do, especially in this first season, I'm like, there has to be some sort of explanation for what's happening here.
Yeah, because
but also that there has to be some sort of explanation on why he goes around beating the shit out of people around town.
oh, but he did also go to that martial arts class thing, right? When he was a
He
kid.
did karate, yeah. But I'm
Karate. Yeah.
saying the stuff he's doing in the Soul Reaper universe, like for example, with that first episode when he meets Rukia. By the way, Kubo, you did not have to nerf Rukia that badly.
Okay, we're gonna
You
get please, we're gonna get there. That's a
no, isn't it the
special.
first? Isn't that the first episode?
It is, but we're
Oh,
gonna.
It
okay.
is.
I mean, we're gonna get there in a sense that right now we only mentioned that he was kicking these guys. Obviously,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
yeah,
I feel
he,
you.
he gets home and then obviously we get introduced to his two sisters, and then his dad comes in and then he starts kicking him, and then they start bickering.
I love that dad. What's his name again? I keep forgetting. I
It's
just
in.
know him as Ichigo's dad. I forget the character's name.
I think it starts with an
Am I
I, right?
what is it not Isin? Am I correct? No,
Ishin,
that's
yeah, is it
yeah,
Ishin?
Is it
Isin. Yeah,
Ishin?
Ishin,
Ishin
yeah,
Kurosaki.
yeah,
Kurosaki Isin. Yeah.
Ishin, yeah.
I always confuse his name with Uryu's dad's name. So I always think
What's
usually
what's
I reverse the name.
what's Urio's dad's name?
So anyway, let me just try and remember. Yeah, it is Isin.
It's Ishin. You're
Ichigo's
right.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Ishin as a character. I think like when people say he's the best anime dad, you really actually see it. And also, it's like that's why that retcon is so important because it means that he understood what Ichigo was going through, and instead of like I guess coddling him, but then also not neglecting him, he was still there to be of some assistance and give Ichigo important things when Ichigo is gonna go do some nonsense. Because
Mm.
like yeah, I mean
Yeah.
like but anyway, let's stick with the
Yeah. So
episode.
so you could tell. Apparently, Kubo already knew that he wanted to make the dad a Shinigami from like the get go.
Mm.
But I guess you could tell that the plot hole that we always saw was not a plot hole at all. I mean, are you telling me that you're not hearing people in your son's room talking?
You can't hear your son yelling at the top of his voice at
Yeah,
some
you can't
invisible
hear
person.
him kicking this
I, I, I,
chick as she invades the room or whatever or something.
but
Or
how
the
far are they?
yeah.
How far are the younger sister's rooms from his room? And
Exactly.
sometimes I'm like, you must
How
be
big
living
is
in
this
some.
house, guys?
How
Like,
big is this house? Like, right? Well, okay, I can. He must be some world-class doctor because, of course, he was a Shinigami. It makes so much sense that the way he knows about the human anatomy, world-class doctor. Everybody in the entire world must have been coming to see him. The amount of bank he was making.
Yeah, maybe that's what was
maybe that's
happening.
maybe that's what it is. But also, I don't know. Okay, but we'll get there anyway. So
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
you already mentioned Rukia comes in, comes
chasing butterflies.
yes. Those butterflies. Okay, should we get into it or should we just pretend like we don't know what those butterflies mean?
Yet.
I
We
think
don't know
let's
anything yet.
keep it. Let's keep it. We'll talk about it when they
Okay.
come into play.
Yeah, so she's busy chasing these butterflies and then enters Ichigo's room and then she starts talking and then Ichigo just like, what the? You think you can just come into my room and pretend like you just didn't come in my room? Like, I don't
No,
understand.
that I love that part because he was just like, "You're a burglar, Moose. Like you're here to rob me."
So
And I was like, that's when I also know Ichigo has hands rated E for everybody. Like, I love how in the show he'll talk about, I'll never hit a woman. Dog, you've been kicking women since
Episode one,
since.
chapter one. Anyway, I guess it's a good thing that also he encountered Rukia, because if he had encountered Kenpachi or any other, it would have been a nightmare.
that never send him to the that never send have sent Kenpachi to the real world. He would be too OP.
Yeah,
No, also Kenpachi would have been more destructive than the Hollows.
okay, so yeah, so basically we get this moment between the two characters where
Oh my god, you
Sorry.
can see. Well, I just wanted to add that the reason why Rukia was like, okay, she's like minding her own business. She's used to a world where nobody can see her in that place.
yeah.
So for someone to say, "Who the hell are you?" would have been something that like, "What the hell? Can you see me?" So from her perspective, I can get like pretending that ignoring ignoring this person while walking in her while walking in his room.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, it was a great and funny introduction because it also tells you a lot about both characters. Instantly, you know how Ichigo is connected to the spirit world. You don't know exactly how, but you know he's connected to the spirit world. And then instantly, you see that Shinigami are not used to being seen because they're otherworldly beings. So the
Yeah.
fact that she's surprised and the fact that he's surprised is also a nice bit of storytelling because it instantly informs you of the world without giving you heavy exposition.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful
it's sort
writing.
of like even though you've seen these characters, exchange whatever with words,
Banter.
you're also
Yeah.
now questioning certain things. So, okay, this guy can see ghosts. What are those butterflies? What do they mean? Who's this person? So it's like you are more engaged in the story, and it's just the beginning. So I guess that's good writing because you're already so much invested in what's about to be revealed.
Yeah, like one thing I will say of the big three between Naruto and Ichigo, between Naruto and Bleach, they have like the strongest hooks in terms of a first episode. Like One Piece's first episode feels hella slow. Like it feels like it takes a lot to get invested in. Even though Kobe's like a fun character, it just takes a lot to be like, what the hell am I doing here? Whereas with Naruto and Bleach, they instantly give you a feel of what the show's going to be with their first episode, which is like something that was a big strength of Bleach. And I think what contributes to why Bleach is still around today, even though, it's not as popular as it used to be.
All right, you're right. Actually, now that I think about it, some of the best first episodes, they say a lot. Like Naruto actually says a lot in the first episode. You already know about jutsu. You already know there's forbidden jutsu. You already know, like, there's a lot happening there.
Yeah.
Kenshin, you also know that there's this guy who's called the Himura the Batosai. You see this soft guy, you know that there's, Karu, and she has a dojo, whatever.
But you see the difference between Kenshin's first episode and this one is that in Kenshin's first episode we had a bit of exposition explaining this legendary Manslayer, Batosa the Manslayer, and then we just see this normal ass wandering oaf.
Yeah, with a reverse blade sword. You're like,
Yes, and
yeah.
then what we have with Ichiko is that we don't have that exposition,
Oh yeah.
but he has that groundwork done so well that we already get a sense that this man can see ghosts. We now see, okay, we are now seeing these Shinigami, death gods, basically.
Right.
And yes, that's what it directly translates to. Not Soul Reaper, it's a death god.
Yes. I'm sure they just didn't want to say that for
Yeah.
for the Western audience. But yeah.
And
So what happens? I think Rukia basically introduces herself and explains that there's a hollow around and he wants
Mm.
to find it.
Also, the hollows, those are some great designs. Like
yeah,
the way the hollows look, it's kind of sad that when they kind of fall off in the story, because you're just like, I would have liked to have seen how those things kind of develop and stuff, just because they had such fascinating designs in the beginning.
mm,
I think you were the one that said this. I don't know if it was you who said that the power scaling of the hellos doesn't make sense.
That must be Tebello.
Like it's only
it is.
convenient. It's convenient to the plot. Like it's not consistent. The power
Yeah.
scaling of the hellos.
Well, I think the
Well,
power
I didn't.
scaling throughout
I
Bleach is a thing where I'm just like, yo, you guys,
yeah.
because
It's
getting to
very.
yeah, I mean the thing is, what Bleach does is it does the Dragon Ball Z thing, I guess, but like maybe a little bit less consistent, which is interesting
Mhm.
because Ichigo. We'll talk about Ichigo when we get to talk about Ichigo in the detail that I want. But I'm just saying, you get to this first episode, and you see that Rukia is struggling with this because basically she says there's a hollow, and the hollow's looking for people with high spiritual energies and all of that stuff. And Ichigo and his siblings apparently have high spiritual energies. So the hollow wants to eat them or whatever for their spiritual energy or whatever.
Yeah.
And when Rukia
Uh,
is fighting, Tebello,
Sorry,
you there?
Am I here? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
it just seemed frozen. I just want to say before, if there's anybody, and I'm just assuming, who has no idea what a hollow is, can we just get into that before we?
Right. Before we jump into that, maybe you want to take this one.
You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. My memory is a bit foggy here, but I believe a hollow. So basically, if someone dies, right,
Mm,
um, the spirit has to, well, there has to be a Shinigami that basically enables them to get to what we consider heaven. To them, it's called soul society,
mm.
and then hell, right? So if you don't get, if you don't go through that process, I think what happens is you become a wandering spirit, and then you eventually turn into a hollow. Am I wrong?
I think so. Well, I think also it's like you have to like I think you have to get attacked by other hollows, if I remember, and then you get turned into a hollow because you're a wandering spirit and you have like no attachment. Either your chains can turn you into a hollow or you can get
Yes.
attacked by other hollows. I
And this
think
could
that's
be
how it
for.
Am I
works.
back?
We can hear you again, but
We
you're
can hear
still
you,
a
can't see
little bit
you.
frozen.
Hello.
We can't see you. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Let me try.
All right, I
Oh,
guess let's
again.
just keep it. Oh,
Oh,
okay,
that's
you're
good.
moving again. Okay, let's just keep it going, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There he is. He's
Yeah, there you
back.
go.
Okay.
He's back from the Soul Society.
We're not sure if you heard what we were talking about regarding the hollow. I'm not sure if we explained it properly.
Oh yeah,
Okay. What
yeah.
did you? Okay. What was the exposition? Let's hear it.
We
With,
basically just said that if you die and the Soul Reapers don't come to collect or whatever, or to send you to the Soul Society or to hell or whatever hell is in that universe, that basically either the chains of fate will turn you into a hollow or you'll get attacked by hollows and you become a hollow, something like that.
because you're a wandering
Yeah.
spirit.
Okay. Yeah. You got it half right. One.
Uh-oh.
If if you die and you're at peace, you become basically you can basically move on easy. What happens is if souls linger on too long, then
Right,
they
I
can
forgot
become
about that. Yeah.
they can become hollows, or they can become eaten by hollows.
Yes. So
Yeah.
basically,
So
it's
so
something.
if you mm,
Sorry, please
so
continue.
if you die with regrets, you basically like you die with a hole in your heart. That's what is basically what the hollow is. So it basically forms this hole. It's like a little half hole, gets bigger, and yes, the chains of fate do end up turning you into a hole at that point.
Mm.
But in But if you're eaten by a hollow, you've been eaten, shame. You become part of the hollow that you got consumed by.
Okay.
Basically, yeah,
That's
it's like if you don't have closure on Earth,
yeah.
you want to linger on, you wanna still be a here instead of actually accepting your fate.
But then that leads to a plot hole in a particular regard. I guess we'll talk about it when we get to it. Because that's just like, okay, but anyway, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
It's
so
in this season. It's in this season. It's not far away.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I cut you off, but I just wanted us to just explain what a hollow is before we get to where you wanted to go, so that if
Okay.
someone is watching this and is interested in Bleach and has never watched it, at least has an idea of what we're talking about.
What
How much did we
rock
spoil?
have you been hiding under?
How much did we spoil in the beginning then? I don't know how much we
No, no,
spoiled.
I don't even think, there's some people who
That-
will never probably even watch Bleach, but they're probably watching it through other people as they explain.
Oh,
So I just wanted to
Ah,
make sure that we don't lose them as we're explaining this.
okay. Okay.
Because honestly, I was actually thinking, what rock are you hiding under? Yeah, you're here. It's this podcast, and then you're telling me you've never watched Bleach. You've never watched Bleach, and you're here. How am I? How?
You never
Okay.
know. You never know.
Anyway, so yeah,
I'm not
this the
keeping. I'm
hollow.
just
So the hollow comes out, right? And it's just a regular hollow. It's not yeah, it's just a regular one. But that's the thing. I'm just like, Kubo, why is Rukia, like, now that I put it in perspective, like RDC World said this perfectly. They're like, Bleach, they cap in reverse. Like, when you think about it, you're just like, that doesn't make
Doesn't make
sense.
sense.
yeah.
But it's just like, wait, why is Rukia struggling so much with this hollow?
Doesn't
And
make
then
Well, the only way I can reconcile that in my head is that they accidentally put a limiter on her.
Yeah. They
because
just
maybe it was a thing of her not being accepted by the Kuchikis or something, maybe.
Or even worse, I'm gonna to risk spoiling season 3 onwards. It was all part of somebody's plan. We are not gonna say his name.
But yeah, so basically what happens is Soul Reapers or Death Gods or Shinigami, when they come to Earth to protect
to
Earthlings,
keep the balance, rather.
yes, what happens is their power becomes a bit limited. They're
If
not
you of a certain level of strength, it has to be specifically. You see, you're not going to tier levels in which you're not supposed to go because this is season 1. But once you're of a certain level of strength, you get a limiter imposed on you whenever you go into there.
Oh, because then your energy can start affecting the plane of the Earth
Yes.
or whatever. Oh, yeah, okay. That's why they can never send a captain to go handle like a hollow or whatever.
They
Right.
can, but he needs to be restricted.
Yes, yeah, he's right because Ishin, but yeah.
Yeah.
So basically Ichigo's sister gets what? Do we call it kidnapped by the Hello?
Yeah, we can say that. I mean, she is a kid and she does get napped, so.
And
Which
funny
makes me
enough,
think,
but I don't understand why the anime did this, but in the manga, the more passive sister, the sweeter sister, is the one that gets captured, not the other one. But in the anime, the one who gets captured is the tomboyish one.
Well, I think the thing is that because they wanted to make the switch because the tomboyish one, she can see sort of spiritual things going on. They both can to some sort of degree, but she's better than the little sister. So I guess they wanted to kind of emphasize the terror of the hollow because they wanted her to react to the hollow.
which brings me to my next question: are those two girls twins, or is the one specifically older than the other?
No, I think the one is specifically older than the other. I
Really?
think
'Cause-
I think they had them in threes because I think the gaps are not big. Remember, like Ichigo is like an anime teenager. It's the same way, like if you go to JoJo, it's the same way if you go to JoJo and they tell you that Jotaro is 16, and you're just like, there is no way.
This guy's 25.
Yeah,
No. What's his pose? What's his pose?
yeah.
Oh, Jotaro.
We should probably also cover JoJo one day.
Yeah,
I'd like to cover JoJo
Ish,
one
guys,
day.
that we haven't. You know what? We can talk about this offline, but maybe we might have to start recording more than one video a week so that we can cover all these other things. But then,
But like anyway, getting back to it, right? Was this like yeah, Ichigo, they need to design him to look big and burly, but if we look at the age differences between them, I'm sure it's like 1 or 2 years. I'm sure like they're 12, 13, and he's 15. Something like that is going on
All
there.
right, it's possible because they were actually cooking, so
that
Yeah.
you
would be
can't you
horrible.
can't.
That would be horrible. But, but again,
Yeah, because they were doing housework. It was
because-
evident that the one girl is like the chef of the house, the other one is like the cleaner.
so it's a Gohan Goten situation where Goten is 8, Gohan is what, 16?
Gohan is 17 when Goten is born, I think.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Yeah,
no,
whoa, whoa,
no,
whoa,
no, no,
wait,
sorry, I got that
wait,
wrong.
wait.
Gohan is 17 when Goten is 8. Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
Okay. But wait, who's 8? Is it Goten or is it Trunks? Because Trunks is a year older.
Oh, no, isn't Trunks 9?
Oh yeah,
Trunks
Trunks
is
is 9. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You're right.
Because it's supposed to be 7 years, and Goku comes for one day, and it's like in the eighth year or something like that, or something somewhere there. Anyway, so getting back to this Ichigo situation, yeah. So I guess then she gets kidnapped, and then Rukia puts a binding. Like first off, Ichigo can smell something is wrong, and I'm just like, this is where you're just like something had to be happening somewhere because the level of which Ichigo unlocks powers is insanity. Like he
And
immediately can sense something is wrong. And I'm just like, okay, but we don't know what's wrong. All right, fine, sure. Rukia knows exactly what's wrong. Then
Yeah.
she puts a binding spell on Ichigo so Ichigo can't stand up. And Ichigo decides to go Super Saiyan and just break the chain. And I was just like, what? And in retrospect, it's just like, Kubo, you are doing the most to make Ichigo the strongest, but to make Rukia this throwaway the side piece. And then when we get to later in the story, she's such a beast, and you're just like, what happened?
Yeah. I was asking myself the
she
same
was
question.
she was having a very bad day.
No,
I think
I think it's the man who shall not be named. That's the only
yes.
way I can justify this.
Because
But
I think
It
she
was
anyway,
had
all
the Hokkyoku Kengu, whatever they call it inside her. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So Ichigo tries to help, and basically Rukia sees this guy as a nuisance. Like, dude, you're in the way. You are weak. I don't want you to get hurt. Let me handle this.
no, not the same. Guys,
Right?
can you hear me now?
yes,
Yeah.
we can hear
Yeah,
you.
I think my connection is being extra hormonal because of it's all part of someone's plan because I know
One
he's mine.
Piece. It's the One Piece. They mad
It
at you.
Maybe
yeah,
try
and
try audio for a while, maybe.
yeah, cause I wanted to explain that she didn't have the Hogyo Q at that time.
Oh,
When at the first episode she did not. She got it when she was given her portable her personal Gigai body from
Ura.
uh the yeah your wallpaper over there.
This guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get to Unohara, or is it Urahara? I think it's
Urahara.
Urahara.
Urahara
Oh,
Kisuke.
okay. I saw Unohara at some stage. Maybe that's a mistranslation. Anyway, so yeah, Ichigo finds out something is wrong, runs out. Um, yeah, what's this? And then Rukia gets to take the position of Vegeta, where she just gets to sit there and be surprised, and it's like, how can this be?
Yeah.
Because
But
it's
she
just
was
like,
bodied for like a second, right? Because she tried to fight the thing.
oh yeah, that thing put her down so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get what Kubo's doing. He wants to get to the crux
It's
of the story.
exposition.
But
Yeah.
it's just like you did not have to disrespect Rukia as a character to do that. You
Like you could have had
just
Rukia.
had like 4 hollows. Have 4 hollows. Have
Yeah.
her defeat 4 hollows,
Yeah.
and then the one hollow gets the drop on her, just so that we can see that
Like the
Rukia
sky.
is this beast or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then we get to the point where she has to give her his Shinigami powers.
No, and I'm just saying, as a first time watcher, you get mad at her because you're like, you were talking all that shit. You were
Yeah.
talking mad. You were weak. You can't do help. You can't be in the way. And then Ichigo gets a sliver of your powers and handles this hollow so quickly.
Without
Not even
without
no, he took it all.
without training, without any training.
Bruh. Swung the sword, game over. It's just like, Rukia. Yo,
Oh, and
Kubo did you dirty.
so basically, yeah, Rukia says, I'm too weak, I cannot go on. Performs this thing where she stabs Ichigo to give him her powers. Ichigo transforms into a Shinigami or a death god. Then basically, yeah, slices the hollow. And yeah, Rukia is shocked because he was only supposed to get a small portion of her powers, but he took everything.
And hit him. Can you also talk about look. Props to Kubo for everything, but that season one sword design was the most dumbest sword I've ever seen. It looked like a gigantic butter knife.
It was, I'm sure it was slightly inspired by Berserk.
I think the thing is with Kubo's like season, like when it comes to like the Soul Society and all of that stuff, his designs for Ichigo start getting nice,
Yeah,
in my
but
opinion.
Yeah.
but
Like
at that point,
the other one was not great either, but it was not bad. But it was just like, dog, this looks like a kitchen knife.
Yeah. Um, so basically, yeah, that's the end of the thing of the first part of the first episode.
Yes.
Then the second episode, we basically get introduced to Ichigo's other friends. Biggie. I wanted to ask you guys this question before we get into it. Who do you think is Ichigo's best friend, guys?
I was gonna say Chad.
I think so.
No,
but
because the things Chad does for Ichigo is just like, and also the fact that he can like catch on onto Ichigo cues way quicker than anyone else.
Yeah.
I would like to say it's Chad.
It's just that Chad is not a talker. That's why maybe sometimes we even forget that he's
Yeah.
around.
okay, yeah, no, then then I think yeah, I'll give it to you. It's Chad.
And I like the fact that with Chad, so basically Chad and Ichigo are delinquents at school, and they used to fight like bullies and
No,
stuff.
well, what
So
happened is that they used to get picked on, and
Yes.
well, specifically Ichigo, because it's something about Japanese delinquents in these manga stories. I need to ask. These niggas fight for anything. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You got orange hair, I gotta beat you up. What?
But with Chad, it makes sense because he's not Japanese, right? So Chad or Sado is half Mexican, half Japanese, I think. So with him, it makes sense that he's bullied because of his race. Like you understand why
well,
he gets
I
bullied.
think I think they touched on that a little bit. If there's one thing you need to learn about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's something you learn a little bit about Japanese culture is that to stand out means you're ostracized. I mean, there is a story about a kid who was born with naturally curly hair or naturally brown hair, and he was bullied at school like crazy because
Oh,
at school you're supposed to look a certain way, you're supposed to have your uniforms pressed. Your appearance is very important to
Yeah.
maintain school discipline. And what I mean that even the teachers were not treating this poor child well because this child has naturally curly hair and it's naturally slightly brown. But you're supposed now these kids are supposed to dye their hair, straighten their hair so that they can meet the school presentation requirements.
This one would
So
have
when
sent the samurai for us then if we were born in Japan.
oh, yeah, no,
We
it's
would have
getting
gotten
better.
Shinigami.
No, the caveat is that it's getting better, especially in urban environments. From the little research I've done, I'll stand to be corrected,
yeah.
but all I know is you are not looking different is an issue. And now when you have a storyline where somebody looks different, you've got orange hair,
Wow.
We must
and then
stab him or something.
and then and then and then of course you've got orange hair, and then you've got a teacher that keeps smacking you in the head with a book
Mm,
each time you're in class, and then you've got this half Mexican student
mm.
who's got super dark skin and curly hair himself.
Right.
Obviously, they're going to become friends because they stand out. But
Yes.
at the same time, they're going to be the biggest targets.
Yeah. So basically,
Was he half Mexican or half Brazilian? Because he looked black. He looked blackish to me.
it's Mexican.
Oh,
I could be.
Mexican black, I
It is
guess.
because think about his power set. Like
El Directo.
El Diablo.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
not go into the spoilers of season whatever.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, getting back to it then. Yeah, we get that's like the filler stuff. We get introduced to some. There's some fun stuff going on there. Was this we get to see Ichigo panic that Rukia has now enrolled into his school and everything. Which was I really like the dynamic between Rukia and Ichigo. Like I just wish she had a stronger introduction, but just as a character, I think she's amazing because she's also funny and she's also very assertive and caring, but she also knows how to rip the band-aid off.
Yeah.
Like in terms of if a situation is bad, she's not gonna coddle you or whatever.
It's sad that she got sidelined as the episodes progressed, but I think if they had made
No,
her,
she gets a moment. She gets some moments. She does get stuff. It's not that Kubo doesn't give her stuff. It's just that
Yeah.
when she was introduced, the way he introduced her, it was just like for a character that you were gonna prop up this much, you should have probably made a stronger introduction for her.
I just feel like
What I feel from Ichigo is that it's like Rukia is like Ichigo's de facto first teacher. She's the exposition. She shows him what this world is,
yes,
but she also shows him what he needs to do, and he also gets to see by what he's actually doing when he's slaying hollows. He's not necessarily killing them; he's actually purifying them. Hence
Yeah.
the term bleach, because the bleach part was basically cleansing.
Oh,
Cleansing away, making them pure again, cleansing the spirits.
And I'm guessing as he kept fighting, that's when he was developing his powers. Because I had to somehow reconcile. Because when we get to the end of this discussion, the way Ichigo does something, it was just like, yo, what? But anyway, we'll get to it.
But there are also certain moments you realize just where Ichigo himself doesn't realize how strong he is.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
so
Anyway,
basically, the whole point of her going to the school is now that she doesn't have her powers anymore and Ichigo has powers, he has to now basically do her job, which is to, basically cleanse whatever, Kurakawa town from hollows. So Ichigo at first is reluctant. He's like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do this. But who else is gonna do it? Because Rukia saved your sister, and in the process,
well, I mean, like he does say no initially, but like Ichigo, I think it's also a part of his character trait. It's very much it's a thing that he got from Goku, in a sense. Because Goku, once he's decided he's your friend or whatever, I mean, it's the same with Luffy. Once they decide you're friends, then they're prepared to risk life and limb and destroy all of your enemies for you or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a little deeper than that with Ichigo because it's linked to his trauma.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So he has an instinct to help the helpless because of what happened to him.
Well, we'll talk about that.
When he was helpless.
We'll talk about that. We're not there yet.
So, okay. So I just wanted to say, going back, I just wanted to say that the reason I think that Ichigo and Chad are best friends, apart from what we've already mentioned, is that Ichigo and Chad used to fight bullies every afternoon, and no matter if one of them gets knocked out, the other one will stand remaining and try to fight these people. Sometimes they would win and whatever. But it's like once Ichigo got introduced to the spiritual realm thing where he has to now fight spirits, Chad still got himself involved in that, even though
Bitch, you ain't leaving me behind. Like, what?
it's like I'm
no, but like Chad, the thing is with Chad is that you realize something is up with him because when you see some of those beatdowns, because remember Chad's thing is he kind of just throws people around. He doesn't actually hit anybody. Like Ichigo even says that Chad is like a soft soul where he won't fight back or whatever. And it's just like, you see what these guys hit him with. Like, I think somebody hit him with a knuckle duster and he just like walked it off. And it's like, you can't just walk that off, my guy. Something is up here.
Yes.
We'll get to know his exposition story a little later on, because that's when you get to meet, you find out about his grandpa and all that crazy stuff.
Yes.
But that also, what I like about this season that really falls to the wayside is that Hollows have a will of their own. Hollows have plans. Hollows have strategies, and
they have
because of
right? Well,
and they do.
Yeah.
So when you get to meet characters, so each Hollow has its own plot, whatever, and it forces our character base to also interact with them and get to know this world, the world of the light and the world of the dark. Because at that point, all you know about Soul Society is it's a peaceful place where everybody goes there happy.
Sorry, I was in the dark
had in
part
my
of the
life.
Cerate, and I just had to get some light in here.
It's all good. Tebello, I think you're breaking up.
Am I back? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right. You're back.
You're back.
I was saying that the whole part where Rukia was saying that Soul Society, when she was busy purifying spirits and saying Soul Society is a good place.
Yeah.
Right.
When she says it with a full chest, like, yeah, we didn't know about it that back then. All we just know is, oh, this is how people move on to the afterlife. Now when I look back, it's like, what a pile of oh my God.
Well, to be fair, that's some brilliant writing from Kubo, but we'll get there when we get there. So, what's this? Now then, right? We go through some of the school stuff, and then we get to the con stuff. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on the con stuff because that was kind of just whatever to me.
Okay, are we just going through? Okay, so we meet Urahime, who's the girl that had a crush on him since, I guess, forever, and we find out that she has a brother who passed away. So basically, their parents were abusive. Then the brother actually took Urahime away and raised her by himself because he was way older. He had a job, but unfortunately he died. Came back as a hollow and was basically trying to still look after Orahime, but things were different now. And yeah, Orahime was struggling to, I guess, I don't know, sleep or move on or whatever. And
no, I think the thing is that they had a fight on the last day before the last time she saw him. And she said something like he must go away or whatever. And that was the last time she saw him. So then he gets into the accident. Right. And then because of her regret, plus her spiritual energies that were hidden or whatever, that's why he's attracted to going back to her and all of that stuff. And he still has his brotherly instincts, but because he's a hollow, he can't tell the difference between harming her and protecting her.
Right. So
didn't he literally try and save her from a car accident of her own by punching her out of the way?
Yeah, but like if you look at her leg, it looks like she was slashed across the leg. That's why everyone was confused. It looked like she had been attacked by something.
So basically, Ichigo makes him realize that it's okay. He can leave now. Like Orahime has.
No, well, she does that because Ichigo's kind of just fighting him, and also Ichigo's hesitating because he knows the story. Like that's another thing. He's a very emotional dude. So like once you have his heart or once he has your sad backstory, he can't. Like people talk about Naruto talk no jutsu. Ichigo got some talk no jutsu going on. So
no. You're kind of right. Actually, it's worse because I thought it was like in reverse. Because if he gets into his own feels, it hampers his performance. But I also realize it's the reason why he does any of these things. And more often than not, he doesn't want to kill anyone. He wants to just kick your ass.
That is true. But yeah, she basically, resolves that with an emotional Like I like Orihime. I think she's a fine character. She's leagues above Sakura. Oof, the fury I have for that woman, that character, yo. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's true.
but
We'll get to that.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, he departs eventually. Then we get to meet Ishida Uryu, who's one of my favorite characters.
hey, Tebello, you've been talking about Vegeta. We need to talk about Ishida. Hey, this guy.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
That guy. I'm sorry, Mr. Extraordinary. Ishida, yo, upon introduction,
Yeah,
I must exterminate. I hate all the Shinigamis. You are a Shinigami. I'm going to put the entire town in danger to prove.
for a smart character, that was the dumbest idea he ever had throughout the entire series. So he wants the whole town to be in danger just to prove a point, to give background to people. So Ishida is basically a Quincy. A Quincy is, I guess you could say, the opposite of a Shinigami. They also protect the innocent from evil spirits, but his power, so he can basically I guess use spiritual pressure or spiritual.
Hello?
Yeah, we
Can
can
I-
hear you.
Okay, yeah, I lost you for a moment there.
No
Oh,
problem.
sorry. We were talking about Ishida. Like, you talk about Vegeta. You need to talk about Ishida.
Aisha is an idiot.
I just want to explain his power, like how he's able. So he's able to construct a bow and arrow using spiritual energy or spiritual pressure.
Mm.
Okay, there's a big difference. I just wanted to highlight. Yeah. Am I going to be the de facto encyclopedia in all these
Yeah,
things?
yeah.
Jeff, you are top staffer. That's why we're telling you to take care of yourself. You know all of this stuff. When are we forget?
Okay. Well, Soul Society warriors, Ichigo's and them, the Shinigamis, right? They
Mm.
developed the powers from their own soul energy called Reiatsu.
Mm.
The Quincy, they consume the natural energy around them to form their spirit weapons called Reishi.
Mm.
So the bow that they use basically consumes the energy from the spiritual energy from around them, forms into a bow and uses it to clobber the hollows or kill them with the arrows and
So
stuff.
the spirit bomb, basically, if it
Yeah.
was an arrow. Okay.
Yes, so there's a big difference. They're basically polar opposites as much as they're familiar. So one is even with the outfit wearing, one looks more traditional Japanese with these black clothes and everything, and one is more like the colonizer outfits.
No, one looks like they're about to go to like the like they're about to go model for Fashion Over or something. All those jackets and gloves.
And I think it's their stuff is more German themed, no? Even the name,
Yeah.
even the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have, and then of course, then the big differentiating factor between Quincy's and Shinigamis is that Quincy's destroy the hollows. They don't purify the spirits.
Yes, that's basically what led them to be at odds with each other. The one believes that we should basically eliminate all hollows, and that the other ones they're like, no, let's rather purify.
Our weapons are there to purify their spirits because they're just lost spirits. They're not evil spirits.
Yes.
You know, the evil spirits. Yeah, the evil spirits end up going to hell. So
So basically, Uryu introduces himself, tells Ichigo that he hates Shinigami, and he says, "Look,
I mean, his beef is legitimate. I just hated the fact that he was like, "We got to put the whole town in danger to prove I'm better than you."
That's why Uryu is an emotional idiot, who didn't listen to he didn't listen to his dad, didn't listen to his grandfather. They're saying, guys, as much as it's unfortunate that these Shinigamis wiped it out, but they had a point.
I mean, also the Shinigami were extra because they doing things as well where it's just like.
We learn later on that the Shinigamis work in the world of extremes. There is no middle point. That's the biggest weakness.
I mean, like Ishida's backstory, it is rough. That like his grandfather was trying to make peace with the Shinigami, and the Shinigami did not come to help. And they basically watched this dude get jumped by 4 hollows and said, "No, we'll wait it out. We'll wait it out."
No, we also know why. We'll find out why in the second arc or third.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it is like a thing where it's like you guys are supposed to be like the protectors, step in, help.
Right. Right.
Even if he's a Quincy.
Mm.
And it's just like, yeah, you just told him that the whole thing is he can't help you because you have to stay out of the way of his job or whatever.
I'm gonna pierce the veil right now, okay? I'm gonna just pierce the veil. Sorry. No, now that you know what you know about the Quincy, there is no way in hot hell so society would have helped them in the first place. They would have continued to hunt them down. Now that
I get that, but I'm just saying they can't be holding moral grounds here with somebody who was like giving them an olive branch, literally when he's supposed to be their polar opposite.
Look, all I just wanted to highlight, just the big plot hole with the Thousand Blood War arc is that knowing just how strong and dangerous the Quincy are, do you think so society would have been just chilled with letting two of these survivors, given what Yamamoto knows about what happened with the first Quincy he fought thousands of years ago?
Well, I mean, considering that there was a complete genocide and that there's no one left to actually teach the ways of the Quincy, I'm sure. Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. We'll get there.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, we'll just.
Let
me just. I hate the 1,000-year blood work, so let me not get my blood pressure up.
Okay, so basically we get those are basically you could say the main characters of the show, and then basically we start realizing that Ichigo, whenever he transforms into Shinigami, his body basically I guess you could say it flops out, yeah, and it's prone to danger because it's just lying there. So that's where Rukia says, okay, we need to go to Urahara shop because I think he can be able to assist us with the situation. At least your body can be active, even though you're currently active as a Shinigami. So they get there and then they meet Urahara, this guy over here, who basically has a shop which can assist people that have spiritual related issues.
A candy shop.
A candy shop. So basically he gives them candy. I don't know what to call that. What is it called again, Tebello?
I forgot. It's that green little ball thing, right?
Yeah, there's a name for it.
It's a mod, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
Modified soul, no?
Yeah.
So that,
but then the one he got for poor Ichigo was defective.
Okay, please elaborate on that.
Corners basically wasn't supposed to exist in the first place.
Right. He was scheduled for termination or something, but then he hid in one of the mods.
So I don't know what about. Yes, so he survived.
Sorry, Tebello, can you repeat yourself?
Okay, I'm back. Hello.
Yes.
He who shall not be named is working hard. That bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows I hate him that much. Anyway, we'll get to him. I was saying that he was like an experiment gone wrong, and he was due for deletion. He somehow survived, and when they were supposed to get rid of him, Ichigo finally saw that his personality, deep down in his personality, he's actually a good person. He risked his own life to protect the kids that were the kids from the holo that was basically going down and going to crush them. So he decides to spare this guy, even though he's the biggest pervert I've ever seen in my life.
So he's on the list, but he ain't the biggest.
Just
he is on the list, but he's
just to back up a bit. That gum ball, whatever that goes into the mouth of Ichigo, like his body. Basically, that's what happens. We find out that it's Kon. Kon uses that body, plays around, and stresses Ichigo, because Ichigo's like, dude, I'm busy trying to kill holos and you're busy running around like a mad chicken.
Also, it's just like it makes you question, where are the teachers in this school? Because bro is jumping out of the windows. I'm just like, that's how.
No,
Like, I'm
yeah,
like, no
because
one
think about
reported nothing. No one remembers it. I guess maybe Rukia came
because
with her
no, no,
magic and sharpened everybody
no.
with the forget me stuff.
But think about it. Ruki, they can still see, but then she goes jumping out of the window like like nobody's business.
Exactly.
No, but with me, with Rukia, I just give her the benefit of the doubt because I'm saying she's got magic that makes people forget. So I'm sure she does something and then jumps out the window. And when people can see her or can't see her, they just, they just forget. Like, side note, I want to like we can skip. I feel like we can skip the hospital hollow situation with that magician guy because I was just like that feels very
No,
fillery.
that was filler.
Oh.
The magician.
No, he's in the manga, but he's not. He doesn't get that. He doesn't get that much panel time. I think it's one chapter and it's over, and they stretch it out for
Yeah.
2 episodes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And but you also you get to learn how a hollow is made, basically, because of his stupidity.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that that you learn from him, and his stupid technique, the golden cannonball.
I feel
But
like
then he learned,
he was a knockoff of Mr. Satan a bit, in a way.
of course, even the hand action.
Well, unlike Satan, though, he's not trying to be a fraud. He just ends up being a fraud on accident because he really thinks he's doing something. Whereas Satan knows that Chief, I'm faking here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, this is when things get a bit interesting now because yes, by this point we actually got used to Ichigo helping out Rukia, Ichigo having friends who also have powers.
yeah, because I also wanted to add
Mm,
before we get to the climax of this season,
sure.
I also wanted to touch on the episode where, yeah, when Ichigo was going crazy. Oh, Ichigo and Uri were going crazy and having the most dumbest plan in the history of dumb plans. For, like you said, for a person who's supposed to be smart, Ishida Uri is such an idiot sometimes, honest to God. But we also see that that's how when the guys develop the powers because Chad, who could somewhat see these hollows, was helped by Ichigo's
Sorry, that Tebello, you're breaking up. Can you repeat yourself?
escape up until we land. Okay.
Sorry,
we learn
can
about
you
his
repeat
grandpa,
yourself
and he
there?
said, who was telling him like, "You are given a whole lot of strength. One day you'll see that this strength was given to you for a reason."
Sorry,
Oh,
Tebello, can you repeat
I
yourself?
said,
Quick.
"Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yes, you
now?
can. Don't say his name. It's gonna
Hello."
get worse.
yeah, we can hear you.
That bastard. Okay. I was saying, Chad finds out that his inner strength came from a desire to the purpose of his strength exists to protect others. That's when he develops his powers. Inoue finally steps up for herself and makes a decision not to be a damsel in distress anymore, and that's when her powers come to her. Because she watched her best friend risk life and limb to protect her from something that she can't see. She can see it, her friend can't, but her friend was trying to protect. Then, okay, after that, then we get the big climax of the big fight where you see the Menos Grande.
I think you wanted to mention something about Chad, but I think you broke up. You were saying that he couldn't see spirits, but he was helped by who? By Rukia, right?
No. Remember, there's the parakeet episode, which is what I want to talk about, is because the kid apparently he died with regret, but he didn't turn into a hollow. Because remember, there was that hollow that was manipulating the whole situation. Shout out to that because that was an interesting little dynamic with the hollow where he's a generic villain, but he had he was a generic villain, but he had a pretty cool personality and a pretty cool power, and he had like some very nice fun strategy things going on until Ichigo decided that he's just going to punch him in the mouth and rip out his throat or whatever.
Right.
It was Mortal Kombat. But was this getting back to it. So Chad could always have a sense of something going on. He didn't know what it was, but protecting that parakeet, he was like running around trying to keep that parakeet safe from something he couldn't see.
Yes.
And also, he was having full-on beams made of metal drop from the sky on him, and he was just like, "I'm good,"
I'm fine.
and I'm just like, "Dog, what?"
But I think
What is wrong with you?
I think there was a moment where Rukia was actually telling him where that thing, like on your left, 1 o'clock.
No, it wasn't Rukia. It was Ichigo's sister.
Oh,
Yeah, because like again, Chad feels something. He senses a disturbance in the force, and
Yeah.
then he decides that okay, there's a problem here, and then he like protects because he realizes the monster is targeting Ichigo's sister, so he jumps in to protect her, and then she's like, you can't see it, and he's like, I can see some of it, and then basically he runs away, dodging to protect her. Also, another side note, I know I've got so many side notes, I'm about to write the side book, but side note, um, Orihime's attack, it's so whack. I'm sorry. That psycho tension, I reject.
the
Uh,
I rejecting. I still
uh,
don't get it. Like I
no, I understand the concept, but I'm just like, yo, you needed something like everyone has a cool attack in this series, or a cool sounding name for an attack or whatever. Or even when you hear the Zangpak2 Zangetsu, that has like a punch to it. But that side, I reject. I'm like, oh
so
my god. And it's
basically.
like I tolerate it in Japanese, but in English dub, I'm like, I cannot. Oh my gosh.
So the reject
Who what?
those
Who?
things
How
are
can you watch
rejecting.
Bleach in English? Hold up! Wait, whoa! Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
How can you survive Bleach in English dub? Can you please explain to me?
No,
I'm so sorry.
Johnny Youngboss does a
Yeah, he
great job
does.
as Ichigo,
Yeah.
and also the voice actors for for Rukia and thingy, and for Chad, they're all fine. Like that voice acting is fine. It's the Orihime voice actor where I'm just like, yo, you sound so
Ne-
squeaky. I can't
okay,
do this.
you see, this is thing. I got overexposed to Bleach in Japanese. As soon as I listen to it in
Yeah.
English, my ears
I struggle. I struggle as well.
cringe.
Like I actually fall asleep when I'm watching it in dub, which is weird because I really like a lot of dub anime, but with Bleach I struggle.
We
I
should
struggle.
cover Full Metal Alchemist in the future because
Oh,
that's a
which
really good
one?
dub.
The original.
Brotherhood, obviously. We cannot do the first one.
Okay. Um.
All right then.
Wait. Where were we? Okay. So I just wanted to say there's a character that I really like, and I just feel like she's been done dirty from the beginning. I think it's Tatsuki Maki, or
Oh,
she's like
Tatsuki.
the Vidya
Tatsuki, yeah.
of the story. In a like she's Orihime's best friend, I think. And
Yeah, but like Kubo had too many characters. Like one thing that is a problem with mangaka is that if they have too many characters going on, someone is gonna get the chop.
mm,
Someone is gonna get
but
the
I feel
chop.
like she was the wrong one to get the job. I mean, I feel like had her character really progressed, she could have possibly been a student of Seifon.
Yeah,
Even
but then I'm guessing you would have to cut Orihime from the team, and no one was gonna go for that.
yeah, because of what her chest.
I guess.
So,
Did you
so.
have to do this?
I'm just
Oh God.
hey, and we're gonna have to talk about Matsumoto, but we'll get there.
Yeah, you will. Hey.
But what I'm hearing you say is that the character got yamched.
She did. She
No,
really
I
did.
would say she got Vidal'd.
Got
Yamcha, there
her.
was embarrassment.
She
Like
got
that's the thing, people. You gotta understand when you get Yamcha'd, it's terrible. Like you lose the little respect that you have, and you lose something else in the process to somebody you should not be losing it to.
yeah.
When you get
No,
Vidal'd, you just get beat up and then you go to the side, like Krillin.
or maybe she got launched. I don't know. Either Videl or launched. Because
No,
with
no.
Akira,
She didn't get
Akira just
launched.
forgot.
I don't think
Akira
she got
just forgot.
launched.
Okay, she got
No,
Videl.
she
Okay.
gets referenced. She gets referenced. She got like, yeah, she got
Okay,
Vidal.
cool. She got Vidal.
Okay. I don't really care much about the other two guys. There's one who's a lot goofier, the goofiest guy ever.
That's
Oh, is this the
basic.
friends?
Yeah.
Basically, that's Oolong and what's the name of that
And
girl who
Poa.
turns it for? There you go.
Yeah. But that one, the Pua, the short guy who dates all the women, I got the impression that he was Ichigo's best friend. But I mean, that's before I truly comprehended who was actually Ichigo's best friend. But yeah.
I thought it was a funny character introduction because Ichigo is like he's the biggest womanizer of all time, and he looks nothing like a womanizer.
And then there was the one friend who wants to grab Orihime's boobs all the time, the low-key lesbian.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the one with the glasses?
That one with the glasses, I think, or something.
Or she has brown hair or something.
Yeah.
But I feel like that one she was the first one to get dropped. That one.
Yeah, no. After that episode, I don't think
because as soon as Kon comes into the picture, we've got our team perfect. What do we need? What else is she there for?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like that's the thing. I think was this when they introduced too many characters. I mean, even Bleach does this. I mean, not Bleach. Even One Piece does this. But like, I think One Piece what it does pretty well, or it does frustratingly, is that it will focus on those side characters and give you enough backstory, and then go back to the crew or whatever. And like sometimes that's cool, but sometimes it's just like, I don't care. So for me, I didn't care too much, and I was just like, I'm fine with it. Yeah, move on.
I think also. No, please go ahead.
I wanted to add is that the other storyline that felt dangerous into having way too many side characters was Fairy Tail. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you guys want to do Fairy Tail?
No.
Yeah, no.
I'm good. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't stand season 1 of that thing. And the only character I like is Urza. And she gets Vegeta so hard to the point where I'm just like, you're the only person I like here. I don't care about anyone else.
You know, sometimes I feel like these mangaka, they introduce a character who is clearly supposed to be the main character, but was introduced too late to be the
like if Urza was the main character of Fairy Tail, I would watch it.
Yes. I'm sure it would have felt like a shoujo, but I think it would have worked better.
But no, I look, for the bits to the point where I've watched it, I did enjoy Fairy Tail. Like I said, I love it's a story about dragons. For the love of God, of course it's gonna have my attention. So we'll talk about it.
And there's a character that looks exactly like Ichigo in there. Exactly, dog. Like to the T. Ichigo.
No, and you want to talk about Perv City. Yo, Fairy Tail was fan service central.
There's a girl that I like that looks like Maya Natsume from Tenjo Tenge. I think she's like a bartender or something. When I saw her outfits in the later stuff, when I was Googling, I was like, what? I thought she was innocent. I had no idea.
The bartender, that girl, anything but.
Yes. I had no idea, dog. I was like,
there's the bartender, there's the one who drinks too much. Okay, let's get back to Bleach. We're gonna go into
so basically that's the first cast of the first season. We talked about the dad, the sisters, Ichigo, Uryu, and all of them.
Rukia, Urahara. And well, actually, we got to talk about Urahara. So, I think when we get introduced to him, it's the Kon episode, right? Where, and all of that thing. And then he's got obviously the mystery. Like he's got such a distinct design. You're just like, this guy has to be up to something and is doing something, or whatever. Yeah. And
I was convinced he's like the villain in disguise.
That's why I got that impression.
I was suspicious from the get-go, like.
No, he does a lot of smiling off screen, or not like off screen, or smiling to himself, and you're just like, why is this guy? What is this guy scheming?
And then, no, it's always the smiling, the cheerfulness, and then suddenly you see that zooming, you see that picture that Kuta has, you see that eye with a shadow on it, like suddenly like that, like, oh shit.
But when you see things like this, let me just show you guys quickly. Just quickly.
Hi.
When you see stuff like this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dog. Actually, people have been Vuravayad before. You don't know the Gias is out there. What zero?
That's true. But
what
for me, I just got a, and I guess that's why sometimes they would put Kakashi, Gojo, and
And Umahara, yeah. Urahara. Yes.
For me, I feel like his
Yeah.
personality sometimes becomes like Gojo's a bit, where he's a bit
Okay.
goofy. Hey guys, how you doing? What can I help you with?
Yeah, but in my defense, I hadn't really gotten that much into Naruto for me to compare him to. Because if I'd watched Naruto and then watched this, I'd have seen Kakashi.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But because I was watching this for the first time and I'm fresh out of things like Kenshin, I have a fresh suspicion for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And basically, he has an assistant, the guy with the glasses. I forgot his name. Who doesn't talk much.
Hey, what's his name now?
And then that kid that has like it's like Renji. If Renji was a kid, the kid with the purple hair, and then that girl, the innocent girl, and then obviously there's this cat who we'll talk about later on. The friend, a male cat, or what we thought it was a male cat.
A talking cat.
Let's not. Yeah, a talking cat.
A talking
How
cat.
dare you gender? How dare you assume?
I actually like that. I actually like
Hashtag
that.
cancel MeisterGeek. He assumed this poor cat's gender.
The gender of a cat.
In Pride Month,
No, honestly speaking, I thought it was like Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's just a cat, like a talking cat. Yeah.
No, I mean, I also thought that too, you know. But anyway, we're giving a bit away. Anyway, I like that reveal because like you just think it's a cat, like you just think it's like some B-roll footage. You know, like how anime and mangaka sometimes they just put something to transition from one scene to another. Dante it's one of the biggest characters in the series.
It's the whole thing. Like
no, Kubo, I think the thing is, and a lot of mangaka fall into this, I guess, and I guess it's not the most terrible thing. I don't know how I feel about it, but like I prefer story over like power scaling. Like if a series is perfectly power scaled but it's boring, then I don't care. But if the power scaling is all over the place but I like the characters, I can let a lot of stuff slide.
Yeah. You can let the plot holes slide just a bit, but if the story really progresses well, then it's good. Yeah. Tebello, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to say something, and
I wanted to get the name of the captain.
Which captain?
Not the captain. The guy who.
The guy with the glasses.
The guy with the glasses.
What's his name again?
Wait, who's part of Urahara's team?
Yeah.
Mr. What was it? Okay, I can't remember now.
Tessai. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, Tessai. He's more like an Alfred, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's very much the Alfred.
What a name. Okay, his first name. Okay, his surname is what? Tsukabishi. Tsukabishi Tessai. Okay.
Yeah, to those who might not have an idea of what we're talking about, we're basically talking about.
Oh, you're gonna bring him up? Oh, okay.
This guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
strong mustache.
And these two kids.
Those two kids.
I feel like this is a Range's lost long son.
Yeah.
I call cap.
I'm telling you, that kid.
Look. I agree with the personality, but I deny it.
Oh my God.
For one, look, it could be true. I'll go as far as it's Range's long lost brother or nephew or sibling. But which woman on earth would let that smash?
I don't know. There's women that love the zombie. There's women that love the zombie Maru. There's women that love them weird eyebrows.
Matsumoto drinks a lot. Maybe on one night. And they told Urahara, "Yo, don't say anything. Take care of this child."
Never mind the fact that Matsumoto is way older than poor Range. Like, guys, Matsumoto has been holding that position for a long.
I think we need to talk about that because I only discovered in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc that she actually outranked Toshiro at a point. I was like, what?
Yeah, she's been in that position for her entire life.
Well, anyway, we'll get to the sliding scales. So getting back to it, right? With where were we? Oh, we were getting to the end of it. We're getting to the climax of the season 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that we skipped? Oh, we skipped a big thing. We didn't talk about I mean, I guess he shows up. Does he show up later? But we didn't talk about the hollow that was responsible for Ichigo's mom.
Yeah, we didn't, and
Grand
that's a
Fisher.
very important chat. Grand Fisher.
Yeah, Grand Fisher.
Was Grand Fisher
We don't see
playing?
Grand Fisher again in this season, do we?
No, we don't.
Wait,
Oh,
when was Grand Fisher really exposed in this? Was it when was it?
no. So remember, they have the episode where they go visit the
Oh,
grave.
the grave site.
Yeah, and then Rukia tries to confront Ichigo about what happened, and she realizes how like untactful she was talking about, which is why I'm saying like in Soul Society years, I'm guessing she's a teenager. And then also we get to see that the Serite or the Shinigami community or whatever are tracking down Rukia because they're like something is happening here.
Yeah.
They're like, what? She hasn't reported, or something. We haven't seen her. What's going on? What
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
and what's up with that masked character that came there and told to this person, go to society, figure out what's going on.
Wait, please repeat that.
There was that one Shinigami wearing a mask who ordered the other Shinigami with a hat to go to Earth to find out track down where Rukia is.
Oh, is it?
right.
I don't remember.
And then again, we get to see another Shinigami where I'm just like, okay, Kubo, how are you power scaling these guys? Because Ichigo technically handles this dude. And I'm just like, I get Ichigo's a prodigy, but like I'm thinking this dude is supposed to have hundreds of years of experience. Unless the hollows were nothing.
Plot armor, Baba.
I'm scared by the plot. Do you see your face in the poster of this series? Whose face do you see? It's mine. So who's the protagonist? Yes, I'm the protagonist.
Oh, but I feel like we still haven't really explained the whole Grand Fishers thing. We didn't, did we?
Okay, yeah, just to touch on that quickly, because that's something that I mean I did a refresher, but it was something that stuck out in my mind. So basically, what's this? Ichigo and his mom were going home one night, and then Ichigo saw a lady who looked like she was about to commit suicide or whatever. So he runs after her, and then like he blacks out and he wakes up and his mother is dead on top of him or whatever.
Yeah.
How old was he? I think he was 7, 8.
Yeah.
He was a kid.
He was a kid.
The kids are like the sisters are still babies.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think they were toddlers or something. I don't think they were babies. I think
They were probably infants or something, I'm thinking, right?
Anyway, so getting back to it, what's this? So with Grand Fisher, apparently then Ichigo believes he killed his mom. He doesn't know how. But then Grand Fisher shows up again, and Ichigo sees that, like, they sense the hollow, they see the hollow, and then the Grand Fisher is this hollow with the personality, and his whole thing is tricking people. Because what it does is it has a lure. That's why it's called Grand Fisher, because it goes fishing, essentially, for souls and victims to trap and all of that stuff. So then Ichigo sees the lure that was used, and he's like, you're that woman from how many years ago or whatever. And then Grand Fisher reveals that, this was something I used to trap you so I could kill your mother or whatever. And then Ichigo goes to fight with him. I mean, first off, that Shinigami is like, you start getting a sense where you're just like, dog, what do y'all do? Shinigamis, what do you guys do? Like,
Right.
You start asking questions because you're just like, before you get to like the other seasons where you get to see what the captains and what the Shinigami are actually capable of. Like, Grand Fisher takes out that dude so quickly. It was so fast.
But I think they sent the weakest one to get that training at Kuragawa Town. Huh?
But Kuragawa Town is cooking this Shinigami because, my guy.
It generally is. I won't lie, but still, the season 1's past scaling on the Shinigami doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We get to see a lot.
Figuring it out. I think Kubo was still trying to figure
You're still testing the thing.
I guess so, yeah. Which I mean, I can give it to him, but like with the stuff that he does later, I mean, at least he could have just done a retcon and fix something anyway. But storytelling is storytelling. But yeah, then Ichigo has the fight with the Grand Fisher, and it was a pretty good fight. I enjoyed it more in the manga, I think, than I did in the anime, because the anime
Same
kind of
here.
had that staticky feel to it.
Yeah.
I guess because like they didn't get into the dynamic. Because like one thing I like about Bleach is definitely how good looking the fights are. Like the fights are some of the best looking fights. Like I'd watch a Bleach fight over a One Piece fight any day, in my personal opinion.
Gasp! Son the non-believer! Son!
No, because like one thing that annoyed me with One Piece is like when you see Zoro fight, right? They fix it later in more modern animations and everything, but like they do a lot of that Samurai Jack thing without the samurai build up. Like Samurai Jack used to have like a full-on action scene before it
Yes.
would cut to black and then do the swing. But if you look at some of Zoro's fights, they go to that swing thing so quickly. And it's just like I don't like that's why I like seeing Sanji fights, because I like seeing them being kinetic and all of that stuff. And Bleach has that in spades.
Now the One Piece fans are gonna come after you, you see? Thank you for taking the heat of me.
Hey, I said I like One Piece.
I didn't say I don't like it, I just said it's a soapy. Don't get it wrong.
I couldn't tell. I spoke about a cat's gender, so they're coming after all of us. Guys.
We are getting cancelled.
They're coming after all of us. Yeah, but anyway, I guess for me, that fight was not even memorable. I even forgot that he killed Grand Fisher, but it
He
was.
didn't.
He didn't kill
didn't.
Grand Fisher.
Oh, he
Grand Fisher
didn't?
got away.
Oh,
Which pissed Ichigo even off, and then he was at the gravesite all depressed and moody, and then his dad had to come and cheer him up with an umbrella.
That's another thing. I really like Ishin as a character. Like Ishin is so cool. I like because the way he cheers up Ichigo, it's like it's so short, it's so simple, it's not a long speech or a soliloquy. He's just like, how can I be mad at the man my woman sacrificed herself to protect? And it's just like, yo, that is
what did you say?
I was like, how can I be mad at the man my woman sacrificed her life to protect? And I was just like, that got me in the feels a little bit. I was like,
That's deep.
And like the fact that he says he only smokes once a year on the anniversary of her death because he always tells her, no, don't smoke, it's not healthy for you. It's one of those things that shows that you can write a good anime parent.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's letting Ichigo go on these things, but it's because I guess he also is on the okay, that's a spoiler.
Forget
That's a
that. Because
spoiler.
I actually wanted to talk about that as well. That I'm sure Urahara is writing daily reports because.
That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. Let's not get into that right now. So, and then I also like it when he gives Ichigo that whole speech of live long and make sure you pass after me. And I was just like, Ishin, my guy, yo, Ishin.
He's the one. The one.
Yeah.
So good anime parents can exist and should
God,
exist.
like Kubo's like the one where I'm just like, wait, bro, can you talk to everyone else?
And I'm looking.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm looking, and I'm not talking about the Dragon Ball Z's and stuff. I've already said my piece about Dragon Ball Z. I've moved on. I'm talking about the recent releases of anime and how many of these have got bullshit parents.
Which one has which anime as of late has
Attack on Titan, because that dad is wild.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Jesus.
Because it seems
it's just like, if you were trying to stop your son, why did you turn him into a Titan in the first place?
It seems like nowadays, like the parents of these characters are either dead or just missing or something. Like they don't
or worse, or they're gone. Or Gin, I mean, where he's gone.
Gone, yeah. Oh, it's Gin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jin.
Where you make his son chase him down and then say, "It's nice talking to you. Bye."
It's like My man, I became a hunter to look to find.
I almost died on an island fighting weird bugmen.
I was chased by the phantom trope.
I literally had an adventure where I sacrificed my body to gain an attack and destroy somebody.
I beat a whole adult with a yo-yo, like, yo, and this is all you're gonna say.
I was like, Leorio's the real dad. Just go get adopted by Leorio.
Straight up. And funny enough, apparently Leorio is a teenager. But we'll get there one day if we talk.
What is this anime logic? Anyway, yeah, getting back to it. What's this? All right, so I guess we covered everything major in the first season, and then then we have to cover the episode where they take Rukia.
No. We haven't forgotten the moment Ichigo fights against the Menos Grande.
Oh, right.
So a Menos Grande is basically a lot of halos that merge and basically form this huge. I don't know whether to call it a halo still, but
yeah, it's still a hollow because it still has the hollow property.
I just like the way they pointed out as these big badass characters. Like, oh my god, hey Menos, you've heard about this in the books.
Yeah,
I never thought one good.
But like that's where I'm like, Ura. But that's why I'm like, Urahara, bro. This is not the time to be testing Ichigo because he's just like, no, wait, Ichigo can handle it. What?
He paralyzed Rukia. That's how far he went. Like, stop. That's what I was thinking. One of those moments, like, this guy's a villain. He's like, why? Why is he doing this?
No, I mean, like, even like, what's this? Like, even Jiraiya, he took Naruto out, got him lunch and everything before he pushed him off a mountain. Urahara is just like, no, I'm going to let my student face the most dangerous thing he's ever faced immediately.
Yeah. That's true.
Then, of course, not only did this thing decide, oh wait, you tried to kick me in the leg. I'm not going to hit you or take you with any of my hands. I'm gonna blast you with my most powerful attack.
I love that moment where they're like, Ichigo, what were you thinking? And it's like, if I can chop it down, then I can get to the head.
Yeah. How did he defeat it again? Did you release the Getsuga?
No, so what happened? No, he didn't do any Getsuga Tensho. What happened basically is the hollow blasted down
with a Zero.
With a blast attack of some sort.
It's called a Zero.
A Zero. There you go. A Zero. Yeah. And then Ichigo blocks it, and everybody's like, what? And I'm thinking to myself, Urahara, this is the time to step in because everybody is panicking here. But he's like, no, Ichigo's got it, apparently. And then they're just like, his energy is rising. And I'm like, what in the Dragon Ball Z? Wait a minute.
His Reds is still building.
And then Ichigo basically deflects this Zero and cuts the Menos Grande so deep. Again, it looked better in the manga to me than it did in the anime.
Yes.
And cuts the Zero so deep, and then the Zero just decides to bounce because it's just like, yo, I didn't know that you guys could fight like that. And then I'm just thinking to myself, the Shinigami. What do you got? Like, just give Ichigo the job because he's clearly better than all of you.
He's doing all of Soul Society's job that they've been doing for thousands of years better than they have.
Yeah. Without any experience, without any training.
And
when we talk about the thing with Ishin, I guess we'll tease it. But when we talk about the thing with Ishin, that has to be my theory. I'm just like, that's the only way it works.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And then we get to the point is what I wanted to lead up to with regards to discussing this in particular, the fight with the Menos Grande, is that the damage it caused and the disturbance it created was the thing that triggered Soul Society to send its two most powerful warriors into
on the living, the world
to the world of the living.
But this is also when you find out that the Soul Society is kind of dumb with its bureaucracy, because it's like, what's your beef here exactly?
Yeah, they found the renegade Shinigami, and they found not only did they find her, they found that she did the most unforgivable thing. She gave her power. She gave her powers to a normal man. How could you?
Well, if she didn't, Menos Grande is eating the entire city, and then
Who,
everything is imbalanced.
who cares?
That's their job.
No. People die every day. But
No, but they don't get eaten by hollows. Like, that's the point. They have to balance both sides. If Ichigo wasn't there, then it was going to be imbalanced, and that was going
you,
to lead to the end of the earth.
I'm trying to explain it from the society's perspective that people die every day, but
No,
that
but it
you
doesn't
should
make
not give people
sense.
the. Of course, it doesn't make sense. It's called a bureaucracy for a reason.
Hey.
Which political entity in any story whatsoever actually seemed competent? It's all mired down by its own nonsense, and that's one of them where they cared more about the
Like,
fact.
Rukia is actually the most dedicated Shinigami because
Yes.
she was like, you know what? I can sacrifice my powers here, and
Yes.
I'm going to train this dude, and I'm going to watch over him to make sure that we can exterminate hollows and keep the city safe. She's literally doing her job better than any other Shinigami.
And to be honest, her intention was never to do anything illegal. She was just gonna transfer a small portion of her powers
Yes.
to him so that he can do what he needs to do and it eventually get it back.
Yes.
So according to on paper, should have worked out. It's just that she had to give it to the most overpowered character that she found, and now she's stuck in this mess. And then she was given a body that was defective, which she doesn't know until much later that it was intentionally designed to be defective.
But I think you said it perfectly earlier on when you said it was just not her day. That day was just not her day.
Ah, no, it was the plan of someone who shall not be named that he had to give it the Western life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so, and then we get introduced to Byakuyaku Chiki. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's Kuchiki Byakuya.
Well, I know with English we say it front to back.
Yeah,
With
which
the
is
Japanese
dumb.
they say it back to front.
And
There's only,
Renji.
there's only one case I can admit that the dub saying pronunciation of the names is better than the sub, and it's with Seto Kaiba.
Oh yeah.
That's the only time I can say. You know what? That's the only time I can say, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, because
Seto
Kaiba Seto doesn't hit as hard as Seto Kaiba.
Seto Kaiba sounds.
Yeah, and also I like that Yugi doesn't call him Seto. He doesn't call him by his first name. He calls him by
Kaiba.
Kaiba.
I can't wait to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, guys, because that series is showing me flames.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Saturday, guys. Like.
So
But
anyway, we get to the.
I think Uryu went shopping, or he was just. What was he doing that night? He was.
No, we also get to the fact that where they meet the talking cat was actually trying to warn Urare Kisuke that they've dispatched Kushiki Byakuya and Abara Renji to the real world. That's why the whole episode, oh, the cat can talk. The cat can talk. It's like, guy's crazy. The cat can't talk. And then in the last minute of the episode, it's like, how long am I going to pretend that I'm a cat?
Right. Yeah, I think Uryu was walking on that street.
Oh, yeah. And then he sees that they're beaten. Also, Uryu is just like, bro, you're still bandaged up from your maneuver to save Ichigo, that was a dope moment. I did like that moment. I did like when Ishida finally pulls his head out of his own ass and it's just like, I probably have to help this guy. Yeah, so, and then I like that he did step up, but like he did the Vegeta thing where he was talking so much smack. Only to get smacked down, and it's just like, I'm fit.
Who smacked him? I think it was Renji.
Renji.
So another Vegeta type character smacked him.
Yeah,
the two Vegetas duked it out, and the one got the Vegeta treatment, the villain bad.
And then Ichigo comes to try and save the day.
No, but this is when I was just like, what is happening with Ichigo as a character? Someone needs to explain. Because he lands, he's talking the trash, he's fighting Renji and all of that stuff, and he's doing okay, fine. Then Renji whips out he calls out Zabimaru.
Howl.
Yeah, Zabimaru howl. And then he starts beating the brakes off of Ichigo. Then Ichigo decides, okay, I'm tired of being beaten up. Now it's time for me to fight back. And I'm like, wait, what?
I don't care what's happening. I suddenly feel great. Like, wow. After being impaled so many times, but you know what? There's one thing you got to learn about anime protagonists, but in this case, in Bleach in particular, the amount of pain these guys go through for quote unquote normal people. Yo, I mean,
he got stabbed in the shoulder, he got snaked on the side, and then all of a sudden he just decides, "Nah, I'm cool anymore. I'm not getting beaten up by this guy." And then he just starts handling Renji.
And those aren't light scratches. That's the one thing I want to emphasize. They're not little lap taps, like you got a butter knife cut. A cut if you accidentally cut yourself with a knife, it hurts. When you prick your finger, it hurts. Shame, not literally gouged out your chest. No.
With the Zangbak toe, but he's like, I'm good.
I'm good, Nona. It's time. This is just but a scratch.
Oh, and you actually see how quick. I guess you could say it was a foreshadowing of the flash step, which we'll get into later on. But
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Ichigo just starts handling Renji. And I'm just, in my mind, I was just like, what is happening? This, like, people call Goku and, like, Naruto, they're like, these are the king of ass pulls. And I was like, Ichigo.
No, Ichigo is Ichigo has always been right up there with them. In fact, it's like, he's the VP of convenient power.
Even there, I was just like, I can't even excuse this one, because like it just makes Renji look so like weak sauce. I was like, yo, you did all of that talk and you just got you won't even scratch a true Shinigami like me. Jiggy 5 minutes later, he's bleeding in the forehead. Hey man.
And then
just as he thought that Ichigo was winning,
out of nowhere,
in walks Kuchiki. Byakia.
In glides. There's walking and there's that glide.
He doesn't walk, that guy.
First he cuts the sword in half. Like, okay, we're done with this thing. Then Ichigo turns around, gone.
Dude,
he's behind him.
They already opened the door, they're about to close it, and Rukia's like, sorry. I'm like,
no. We can't get. We must get to the one kick-ass line. Kuchiki says, "You're slow, even at falling." That's just wrong.
Oh.
The disrespect.
I feel like Byakuya is sort of like the Neji of.
He's the Sasuke.
He's the Sasuke.
Oh yeah. I thought Uryu was the Sasuke, but okay, I get you.
No. Uryu is the Sasuke / Vegeta of the friends.
He feels very Vegeta-y to me, Uryu, because he always feels like he has a point to prove, whereas Kuchiki feels like he has to carry his clan on his back and has to maintain that standard.
Right.
So that's kind of why when we get to that next part, that's why that battle between him and Ichigo is pretty special.
Yes. That's why I was thinking Neji, because if you remember in the Chunin exam, Naruto sort of...
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man.
Opened his eyes, even this whole clan thing, but yeah, I do see the Sasuke thing. I didn't see it ever until you guys...
No, the other thing is, after Neji loses that fight with Naruto, he simply falls to the wayside. But with Kuchiki, the fan base basically keeps him up there because that fight was so epic.
Yes, but also, I mean, do you see his approach, how he started treating Rukia? It's kind of like how Neji started treating Hinata.
Yeah.
Like
we'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, then we get to introduce. Yeah, we get that, and then Rukia does that that thing that was acting where she basically kicks Ichigo's in. Like the thing is, right? The reason why I like Ichigo and Rukia together is that the things that they do for each other, like the lengths that they go to, it's like you can't just tell me that's regular friendship.
Yeah.
Look, you see, the people who are shipping Rukia and Ichigo for me are the same people who were busy shipping Hinata, not Hinata, Sakura and Naruto. It's the relationship everybody expects to happen.
It's the Harry Potter and Hermione thing.
Yeah, it's the Harry
No, but
Potter.
hold on. The thing is, Sakura is terrible to Naruto consistently. Rukia is saving Ichigo and jumping in and trying to help Ichigo. Literally, she even tries to convince Ichigo to run away from Renji and Kuchiki. And she's just like, let them take me. Just go home.
Yeah.
Don't try this.
Yeah.
Don't try save me. And she's like, she's literally like,
Yeah.
I'm willing to die to make sure that you're good. Sakura has never done that for Naruto ever.
But I'm not saying that I'm not putting direct parallels to characters. I'm just saying is that if you look at the casting type, that they were
Yeah, I get what you're
designed to
saying.
The
be,
shipping wouldn't make sense.
they were designed for that role. And in fact, because of that, we also see the reason why they actually had to make sure that the later arc has to be the reversal of that, where there's another damsel that's taken away, and Ichigo has to do all these crazy things, which is basically this season 2 plot all over again. We'll get to that.
Yeah, and I
I'm
think
just
that's
saying,
where
I think
people
that
started
those
saying,
two characters' dynamic, it just gelled way too well for me.
I get what you're saying. I think sometimes we often confuse friendship like that with romance.
And
Where,
then you turn around and tell people like me that no, these two male characters were just friends, when they're doing just as much, if not more.
I think for me it's like Goku and Bulma type of situation with Rukia and Ichigo.
Nah, I don't like the thing is the way Ichigo reacts to certain situations. Like again, I've seen like deep male friendships. I've seen like, Superman and Batman and all of that stuff. I've seen that type of stuff where it is like deep and everything, but it's the way that Ichigo reacts to certain things that happen with Rukia, and
Yeah.
it's also the way that he like decides to rush in straight for Rukia and disregard almost every strategy possible until he's forced to think of one. Where I'm just like, no, not in the beginning. In the beginning, it's just that the way their relationship develops over the series, and
Yeah.
and like the way they go back and forth with each other over the series, and also the way that they also have like that particular chemistry to me over the series,
I get
on
you.
top of on top of the situations and everything.
Mm.
That in my mind makes them a good ship for me
You make it,
versus
you make a good
versus the way that the ships play out in the end. I understand why the writer did it. I just felt like their connectivity tissue was a lot better than
Yeah.
other connectivity tissue.
I
life and
I
death.
hear I hear that, I see that, but it still can't escape the disgusting feeling in my mouth that this is a whole lot of Liu Kang Kitana shipping all over again, and I can't condone that.
What?
Oh, right. Because Kitana is hundreds of years. But like the thing is,
10,000 years old.
no. But the thing is, Liu Kang is a fully grown adult. So I
Yeah,
mean,
like what's wrong with
that's not so crazy. The Rukia Ichigo thing I see, but like the way they treat Rukia, it feels like she's still a teenager.
yes. And also I think maybe that's how it was written, but we sort of forget what Rukia did for Ichigo. So whenever we saw Ichigo behave the way he did, we're like, Wanda, you must love this girl. Forgetting that, okay, Rukia actually saved this guy's sister, if that makes sense.
No, but then Rukia also does things where she's like crying for
Yeah.
Ichigo and she's like, please don't die. Please don't sacrifice yourself. And then she's literally like, I will
But
go
but
and get
and
executed to
then
make sure you're safe.
we also get the explanation why she does that.
It's a good point.
We get to see it later on. We get to see why she's going through this extraordinary lengths with regards to Ichigo, because even Blackula says he does bear a striking resemblance to that other guy.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah, but
get
like that, but I'm saying also that's kind of the thing that also leads into that a little bit for me, where
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay, there is another connection here as well.
right.
yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, again, I understand why it worked out, but personally, I was Ichigo X Rukia.
Yeah, well,
I get you. I was Orihime all along, but I do get your point. I don't disregard it
No,
at all.
Orihime is a fun character. I don't mind her so much. I think she's cool. It's just that I feel like Rukia was just that much better to me.
I get you.
I I get it, but because I'm as dumb as bricks. I like it when when a character actually admits their feelings for the person, even if it's unrequited. And from that moment on, I start supporting, and that's what Orihime did.
I get.
It's the same way why I ship Hinata, because Hinata owned up to the fact that, you know what.
No, I get that. I get that. It's just that the way he did their dynamic to me,
Yeah.
it was just like I felt like that was more of a natural progression.
Maybe that's what he thought in the beginning, because I mean, trivia wise, Rukia is the first character that he actually drew before he created Bleach. Before he decided to draw Ichigo, Rukia was the first character design that he did. So maybe that was the intention, to keep Rukia relevant throughout, but then he changed his mind or whatever. I don't know, but it would make sense if she was the love interest. It would make perfect sense.
Anyway, so she gets kidnapped and sent. Oh, she gets arrested and sent back to her homeland. You know, people like to say she got abducted. She wasn't abducted. She was basically
Just went back
deported.
home. Her brother was like, "Let's go home."
I know you're going home. We are going home right now. And he did that. Kuchiki, as far as much angst as he has, he's basically the extreme version of what any older brother would have done in that
Yeah.
situation. It's like, wait, who is this person?
And you find
You
the
mean
most late on the streets. Like, what are you doing?
Spending all this time with this person. Linche. You know what? And like, let's go.
Yeah, he even beats up the guy because he's worried about this guy is leading you astray on the streets here.
And what happens? I think he passes out, right?
He passes
Yeah.
out, and then he gets
Even Uryu passes out.
yeah, and then he gets revived by having this man, this Tesai Sito, hugging him.
Which was wild because I was just like, how did that help? What form of spiritual training? Was he sharing energy? What was happening
What
with
is
it?
going on? I'm like, okay. Whoa. Even I'm not thinking. I'm sorry. Consent.
And I'm like, and Ichigo immediately is like, what the hell are you doing? Get off of me.
And then, of course,
I think Uryu was taken by his dad or something, right?
yeah.
No. Uryu gets revived, and then he decides that he's gonna go off on his own because Urahara says that his wounds weren't that deep or whatever that means.
Yeah, I remember now. He says he's gonna go train by himself or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have
Obviously, Chad and Orihime are also encouraged to train.
yes.
And then Ichigo then goes to train in secret.
To get his powers back.
And like that training method is wild. Like Urahara is one of the wildest senseis when I think about it, because he's just constantly risking Ichigo's life.
Yes.
Like I think that's the only way Kubo could balance the powers that Ichigo gets. Because like Naruto, you get to see, okay, these are the hand signs, climb some trees, walk on water. Ichigo, I'm going to throw you in a pit. No, first I'm going to take you and make you fight this little girl who apparently has the strength of the Hulk. And is like, yeah, if you got hit, you would have died. And it's like, dog, on my first lesson. Then I'm going to throw you in a pit. I'm going to take your chain of fate. I'm going to cut it and make it short. And I'm going to threaten you with turning you into a hollow so we can kill you.
You go in there. Once you climb out of that pit, you'll get your hollow power. You get your Shinigami powers. That's it.
That's wild. And it's like, bro, this is his first time doing any of this. Like Rukia ain't handling this in the manual.
Nako, his hands are tied up. How on earth was he supposed to climb out of the ditch? Heaven knows.
I feel like Kubo was making those training stuff.
Of course. How many? We are all writers in one way, form, or another. How many times have you thought of things out of the fly? I cannot blame him because I am also just as guilty. I have also done just as much
No, I did it today where I changed some dialogue on the fly, so I
See,
get that.
I also get it, but there's a difference between chasing a monkey on a planet that has like what 10 times gravity of Earth or whatever,
Mm.
and just chaining someone and putting them in a ditch and
yeah, get out with your hands tied up now.
And dog is like, if you get hungry, you should know you're turning into a hollow. Bro, pressure. This is not helping.
But at least someone like a more consistent and caring master would have said it like you need to go search within yourself. The power lies within you. So you're gonna
Yeah.
have to stay in that hole and dig deep so that
No,
you have no option but to
Urahara
search
is
within.
the
Like,
definition of
fuck,
sink or swim.
sink or swim
Yeah.
by.
And
Yeah.
that dude is like sink or swim, bitch.
But
If you
but
die,
then
it's on you.
but then we get introduced to who obvious my favorite character of this entire arc, the old man Zangetsu. That character for me is like he's
Oh.
my favorite. He looks so cool. He,
He was red.
I'm surprised you don't like
up
the
until
1,000-year blood
that's
war because like apparently he's
it's
connected to it.
Yeah.
he,
Yeah.
it's specifically the reason why I hate the Black War arc so much. Like, how dare you? How dare you do this to my favorite character? He was so cool. Like, imagine the embodiment of your Shinigami powers is this man with the glasses, with his wavy energy, sitting there on your weird master
Okay, maybe we get to it. Maybe we'll get to it. Let's not spoil it.
No, I'm not spoiling it. I'm explaining what's happening on that particular episode. That he's
Oh, right.
whatever Ichigo. Oh, it's me. My name is Beep. Like,
Yeah, why don't
what
you say
was
it
that?
from the beginning? Like, why don't you just say it from the get-go? Yo, this is who I am.
Yeah, remember his own
No,
face.
because I think the thing is that Ichigo is not ready to understand what a Zanpakuto is, so he can't hear anything.
Right.
So whenever Zangetsu talks about the Zanpakuto stuff, Ichigo is still
He can't
it's
hear.
not connecting.
He can't hear Zangetsu's name at that point. It's like my name is Beep. What?
Didn't he apologize and say
That
the
happens
sword
later.
the sword is broken, or
Yeah,
please
no.
help me again, or never.
That happens later. That happens when he fights Zariki. But at that point in time, it's like he's like sitting there, like it's me. You're subjective. Oh, well, I guess you still can't hear my name, which means you're still clouded with your own fears. Then he flips up and then he looks at Ichigo, goes like, "How on earth are you still standing like? How on earth are you still standing like that?" Only to realize he starts falling down.
There was some Doctor Strange type.
There was some Doctor Strange stuff.
Mm.
As this beast is flying down, like quickly, Ichigo. You need to find me before you need to find your your Shinigami powers before the holo takes over. It's the reason why your world is destabilizing.
And then we get into that cool shot of the water. I like that shot of the water and the boxes fall into the water. And then Ichigo remembers the lesson that Ishida taught him about the ribbons.
And that is the last time we ever learned anything about spirit strands ever again.
Actually, you're right. Damn.
That is
You guys,
it.
I have to commend you guys on your memory, man. It's impeccable.
No,
You
I've
guys
been rewatching, so.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't watched this in years. I still remember it like it's part of my system. Remember, like I said, people don't underestimate just how much I used to love Bleach. The reason I hate it so much now is because I loved it more than most people back then.
I get you.
So when Ichigo finally finds the sword and it's like, pull me out, we get cut to the point where he's turning into a hollow, and you see that Tessa is not just any honorary person. That's when you hear Bakudo no QGQ Kin.
What does that mean?
I forgot the name, but the ultimate from that, there are three parts to that one. There's the bandages, the pins, and then the last one, Bakudo to QGQ Bankin Taiho, the biggest.
Bankin Taiho. What does it do again?
This biggest box thing came from on high and was supposed to come and restrain Ichigo permanently. But then Ichigo explodes, because the one thing that, to your credit, Mr. Buckmeister, you're saying that Urahara is the worst teacher. Is like, no, don't stop. Look, usually when someone turns into a hollow, his body disappears and then it reforms somewhere else. But look, the mask is forming.
It's like, bro.
The thing is, Urahara is a scientist at the same time, so to him it's
Uh,
an experiment. It's like
and to this day, I'll always ask like Urahara Kisuke and Kurosuchi Mayuri are the
Yeah.
same WhatsApp group.
And Aizen,
They will study you
and Aizen,
until you die.
if you remember, Aizen did the same thing.
Yeah.
But we'll
No,
get
like that's the thing. I'm just like, he's the definition of sink or swim.
Yeah.
Like other senseis at least show you some techniques before they do that to you. He from get-go,
Yeah.
figure it out.
But didn't
Oh, you
Jiraiya
did? Great.
didn't Jiraiya do the same thing when he threw Naruto into like a
No, Jiraiya first shows Naruto some jutsu, helps him walk on water, releases the seal from Orochimaru,
yes,
and tells him about the Nine Tails chakra.
right.
Like that's everything that Jiraiya does, and then he walks. And then he even takes Naruto like on a day where he's like, you have to confess to the girl that you liked. You had your favorite food. You don't want any regrets if you die. And then he's like, wait, what? And then he pushes him off the mountain.
For summoning jutsu.
Yeah. So
Urahara skipped right to the last step.
He didn't teach
He's
him
like,
any
yeah,
foundation.
you're gonna die or you're gonna figure it out.
No foundation, fuck all. Just
Dog.
you know.
and there's no, you don't get a sense of he had a contingency plan if something went wrong. I was like, you know what, let's do this. Then it was Tesla was like saying, I'm sorry, Urahara, this is getting too dangerous. I have to kill this person now. But only to find that Ichigo smashed through that. He's worried that he takes the Hollow mask off, he takes it off. Yay, he's got his Shinigami powers back with the
That's a really cool shot. I really like that shot.
with
It
this
looks
little
legendary in the anime.
with that little stubby sword of his, only to end up fighting against Urahara the next day or something.
Again, and then Urahara, the teacher, the sink or swim. He's literally like, you're gonna fight me with that little sword? Okay, let's do this. And then he's gonna awaken his Zanpakuto, and he's gonna be like, if you fight me half-heartedly, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, dog.
No. Before he does that, Ichigo's like busy fighting, and then he says, "Oh wait, why am I running from this man? As this is a Zanpakuto, normal weapons should not be effective against it." And then, poof!
Where was the cat again? Was the only
the cat was training Chad and Orihime.
Yeah.
Oh, and so it was just Urahara, Ichigo, and that guy. Who's that guy's name? You just mentioned Tesai, okay.
No, also the kids are there.
Also the kids, yeah.
Oh, the girl is there, no?
No, both of them are. Because the boy, I forget his name, but the boy was talking mad smack to Ichigo while he was in the hole.
You know? And then, of course, Ichigo...
Like, just for what he said, if I was Ichigo, I'm handling that little boy first.
As soon as I get it, best believe. As soon as I get
On site.
Best believe.
That I'll beat your hair straight. That boy, yo.
So now we get to the climax of the little scuffle. Ichigo is running for his life, and then he realizes, why am I running? I have one opponent. He is one opponent. He has one sword. I have one sword. Why am I scared? And that's when he hears Zangetsu's voice. Is like, why are you? It's like the sword was busy telling him, why are you scared? I'm here. Just call me. Say my name.
Was he scared because of what he went through with Byakuya? Is that what happened? Was still traumatized by that.
I think also, remember, his sword is broken. And also, Urahara cut his sword down to the hilt.
To the hilt.
So he basically had no weapon. So then Zangetsu tells him to awaken and call and all of that stuff. Like, I think it was an interesting detail because I think the reason why Ichigo's sword looks the way that it does is because of the result of Urahara cutting it down to the hilt. That's why it didn't have one.
With a hiltless sword with a little bit of fabric.
Yeah.
Basically, if you don't know what we're talking about, just look at Buck's background.
Yes, that one. Yes,
yeah.
It's the biggest butcher knife.
Yeah.
That's what Ichigo's sword is. And it's also fitting because of the shape of the sword, and the name of the sword is called Zangetsu. For those who don't know what Zangetsu means, it means cutting moon. And I was like, I'm sorry, Urahara, you need to work on your defense or something like that. I don't, because I have to do this thing once, and then he unleashes what we came to know was Getsuga Tensha, but he didn't know. He
I'm
just
shocked.
swung the sword, one big ass explosion, and Urahara's like, if I hadn't put up my red mist shield up, I would have been in serious trouble. And then to
Because
find,
like that's the thing, I guess, is that to Kubo, because I mean Kubo with when he does his training arcs for Ichigo, it's got to be the fastest and the most instant, but he's also got to put Ichigo in the worst
yeah.
situation that he can possibly fathom in his mind, and I guess that's what
Like,
balances it out for a lot
I,
of
I
people.
I think for Ichigo, it's like he's too stupid to learn things the basics way. So we're gonna make sure he learns to the survival method.
Right.
Like,
No,
sit
but
him
like
down,
survival down to the wire with no backup plan.
you know, sit him down, have a little conversation. Here are the basics of Shinigamis. We've got Kido, we've got cutting paths, we've got combat effects, we've got
Nothing.
No, Urahara doesn't have time for that because that's the other
nothing.
thing. Like
Nigga,
Ichigo's not an
running a
idiot.
candy
Like
shop. I'm running a candy shop. I ain't got time.
I ain't got time for this.
like Ichigo's not a dumb character. Like
But
he's a character that seems to grasp concepts well. So if they actually sat down and taught him some of this stuff, I'm pretty sure he'd learn and achieve the same results.
yeah,
But he just apparently he's got the worst
he's
luck of the draw
he,
when it
he,
comes to
he,
masters.
I mean, if they gave those Ichigo's masters to a character like Naruto or even like a character like Goku, it would make sense. Like, okay, wow,
Yeah.
because these guys are dumb as bricks. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to give him the hardest training methods impossible. But Ichigo can actually think. Give him time.
But you know what? I think I could be wrong, and you guys can correct me. But I think maybe Kubo was not interested in over exposition like that, like this whole over explaining thing.
No, it's true.
No,
That is
yeah. I mean, also like the way we actually learn how all of this works is usually from fan inference.
yeah.
Like he'll touch on it, he'll tell you about it and what and all of that stuff, and then you'll figure the rest out by yourself.
You have to go
It's
to
not like it's not like Jujutsu Kaisen or Hunter x Hunter where you get long-winded
Yeah.
explanations. Okay, now his smoke has turned pink. If it turned pink, it means that he can trap this other trap and what. And
Yeah.
there's these four types of nen, and there's an
Yeah.
enforcer, and there's a specialist, and yo.
the Hunter
And then,
Hunter
and then at some
Yeah.
stage you're just like, dog, am I studying rocket science or am I
Yo,
reading manga? I don't hey,
the
dog.
power
Exactly.
system in Hunter dog, like
There was one chapter where it's all text and 2 panels of drawing.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, bruh, I'm reading a novel here. What are we doing?
and that's something that someone actually complained about, that explaining it like that, where I mean the guy had a board and everything, and he was actually like a teacher. He was like a teacher actually
Hey.
explaining what Nen is.
Oh, okay, you're back. It's on. At
You know?
least we get to close out the video with your face.
You know?
Yeah. But I think for me, and you guys can also correct me if I'm wrong, I think Kenshin is the first one to actually do this whole explaining thing during fights and whatever.
Mm-mm.
In an interesting way.
No, Kenshin, it's something happens and then they explain it. You don't get to see, oh, during the combat I must do this and this and this. Only happens
No, I'm not
it,
talking about like soliloquies and stuff. I'm just talking about like
only I think
the
the only
plot.
times it happens where you get to see what Kenshin is thinking. The only 2 times I remember it to be the time where he's fighting against Jine, when I was busy analyzing his moves at the first time, like he's using the right handed to his Akuri, then form 2 side slash, and then here I can break his stance. The second time is when he was fighting against his masters, like, oh, my master's doing this technique. Okay, then the ultimate technique must be this, or must be that. The only to realize that Seiji was like, as if the succession technique could be anything as basic as I'm doing right now. Stop thinking.
Unless if it started with Piccolo explaining to Gohan, but I just
Yeah.
felt like watching Kenshin.
No, Kenshin is before Dragon Ball, isn't it?
No, it doesn't.
I think it's after, or during.
Yeah, about the same time.
Oh.
But yeah, I think maybe Kubo just didn't want to do that. Just like, nah, I'm not doing this.
No, he does do explanations. It's just that he doesn't sit on them.
He
Like
doesn't-
you're not going to stay there for a very long time. Is keep up.
Yeah, because-
fast.
Yeah.
Zangpak tools can have names. Why? You
His-
find out later.
Mr. Kubo is he has the unique blend of either having ADHD or autism or somewhere like that, because it's like the level of detail on this moment. I need you to focus on the things I'm hyper fixated on. Don't care about the other things. This is the cool stuff I'm telling you right now.
And I guess that's why he sometimes created these super smart characters to actually do that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying even the smart characters, they don't talk for long.
Yeah, they
Like
don't.
there's no long soliloquy. Like there's no Kakashi. Like when they play that music in Naruto, that boop boop boop, boo doo 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 that do 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 do, and then he's like Kakashi explains, and he's giving you a long presentation board and all of that stuff. Like even with Rukia, when she explains something, she draws like 2 drawings. She says, "This is this, this is that. You got it." And then she goes for it like, "No."
And those drawings are terrible.
And
those
remember,
drawings are terrible.
Even Jin used to do that at the end of every episode during the Hekomundo arc.
Yes,
yes, where he's just explaining what is what.
Yeah, because to this day, do you even know where the soul link is? Where the soul steep is? All I just know they're in different parts of the body. Do you know where this Ryozi? What this Ryozi is? It's a spiritual pressure. Full stop.
The thing that I don't know to this day is all those the Kido spells.
Yeah. No, also like the Soul Society is still weird to me. Like when I tried to figure out in my mind how it works. And I was like, is it the Dragon Ball universe where you just like live your life or whatever? And I'm like, why do they have shops? Like I thought everybody, why do they have currency?
Why do they have it? Like there's Rapongi, and then there's the other one.
The most disturbing thing about Korekaratan is like it's like the only part of the real world that actually matters. We don't get to
that's
see.
Earth. That's the whole Earth.
Yeah. The only thing that gives us a hint that there's more to this place than Korekaratan is the fact that Chad is like from
yes. Yeah. And the spin-off Burn the Witch, because it's in the same universe.
And of course, we also have the Quincy, where like, okay, the hailing, the parts are hailing from like German and stuff like that. We get to see something like that. But as for the world building arc, I think Kubo was more. You focus on the things that are most interesting about his story. I don't care. I don't care about the rest of the world. Who cares about that? We're dealing with ghosts right now. Yeah. Let me show you about the ghost world. And when it comes to the ghost world, we're gonna show you about the Serisetai and nothing else.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the Hollow World, it's Heikumundo and nothing.
Yeah.
If it's not integral to the plot, it doesn't matter.
It's mostly Serisetai, but it's like you only get exposed to Rapongi when they show like back stories of before I got to Serisetai, I used to be in the ghetto.
But what I'm trying to understand is like, how do you guys have like any economic like activity in the afterlife?
I don't know.
Like in Dragon Ball, people just are there and they just find food and they just eat and they just fight. Like there's no explanation of how but now we get here and I'm just like there's elitism and all of this. And I'm like
the clans, the royal family,
the noble clans.
That's the thing I was telling you about, like the way Rukia lied to these spirits. I was like, it's a good, peaceful place with no suffering. What the hell?
Only to find out you're in the gate. Like, what the
your house is run down. You're not even with your mom. Like you didn't even find the person that you were supposedly looking for that they promised you that you would find.
Do they even have plumbing? Do you have a running sewage system? Do you have baths? Nothing. Imagine coming from a metropolis, like a proper city, proper plumbing, proper electricity, proper everything, to basically the dark ages. You know, when you're busy saying the ghetto is one thing. The dark ages, there's no electricity, guys. The guys are working with candles.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense.
So
anyway, but I mean, it's a cool looking place, I guess, and it's like it has a lot of interesting stories. But I guess that's it. Then I guess
that takes care of season 1. Yeah.
I mean, we went in. I mean, we spoke for 2 hours and 22 minutes. So
not as long as Dragon Ball, but like there was a lot of stuff to talk about.
Because this is basically the intro season. We do.
It's because
this is the intro season.
Once we decided to stop here. Once we get to the second season,
we are in so much trouble, guys. I think we're gonna have to do this on Fridays or something, because Because it's like 1:45. It's 11:45 right now, and some of us
Yeah.
have to wake up. We have to wake up wake up before dawn so that we can go in gym. So
Yeah, and I have to go to class tomorrow early. Blah. I have to be in
Oh,
class tomorrow early. I don't have to go anyway. That's so nice working from home.
right. Don't
Yeah.
have work.
Why
anyway,
why 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 do people have regular 9 to 5 jobs? Just work from your PC.
you flex, my guy. Tell the world, tell the peasants
Anyway,
when the pitch happens, they will target you first. The way you're busy flexing about, why don't you just work at home? You poor things.
Well, you can come get a busted PlayStation and a broken TV. It's fine.
guys, thank you so much for watching for this long. This is once again the Africa is Next podcast, part one of Bleach. Let us know your thoughts, man. Did you like it?
Yeah.
What was your first feel? What did you feel when you first saw this anime? Did you like
Oh,
it?
should we do favorite characters of the arcs? Quick.
Yeah, of this arc, ne?
Yeah. Ichigo. Rukia a close second.
Okay, you Tebello?
Old man Zagetsu, I just said it.
Uh,
Oh,
Yeah, old man Zagetsu,
um,
like
for me it would be Ichigo and Chad.
ooh, yeah. Chad also does a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
still
think
gotta go Ichigo though. I still gotta go Ichigo and Rukia. It'd be Ichigo, Rukia, Chad. 1, 2, 3.
yeah, I'm with you on that one because let's not lie, Rukia was so likable in this
okay, so yeah, now mine is old man Zagetsu, and who'd be second? Yeah, then my second would have to be Ichigo because Ichigo is the protagonist that I can relate with. And then third would be Chad, of course. Yeah, so yeah, but old man Zagetsu for me.
Look, initially Ichigo is narrating this whole thing, which
Yeah.
stops for some weird reason as he goes along. But you actually follow this guy. You really are interested in everything he's doing,
Mm.
wherever he's getting himself.
He's not just the protagonist; he's the point of view character, and that's the one thing
Yeah,
we get to see. This we see the world through his eyes.
yeah,
But then, but usually it does develop like that. Whereas once you get immersed into this world, we start seeing different characters. We start finding other characters to relate with. So it's no, well, maybe because I've got the soapy arc thing from the beginning. Like most soapies, when they start, we have a start with a pure point of view character get thrust into this world of either high fashion or whatever. And then as things go along, we start seeing other characters interacting with each other. And that we get to see this entire world. So it's a natural development when stories do come across. It's just that sometimes they can get it can go to the extreme where they neglect the POV character. And that's what
yes,
happens usually even in soapies where it started with this character and then suddenly this character dies out because who cares now?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Or it can go into the other place where it focuses solely on the POV character and we don't get to see any of the world and all of that stuff.
Twilight. I mean,
You watched that? I'm not gonna even lie. I had a girlfriend that
and,
wanted to
and
watch
you
that,
see,
and I ended up watching that in the theater, and I'm just like, this was the ultimate waste of my time. Good God.
I think for me the issue with doing stories like that sometimes is where you show scenes without the POV character, but the POV character is still explaining the story. Like, but you were not there. How did you?
oh, then
It's
then you're,
like
yeah,
it's
then you're,
Frieza explaining how the destruction of planet Vegeta, and then you get to see Bardock talking to the other Saiyans trying to warn
Like,
people,
how did
and
you?
then Vegeta's like, how do you know about the parts you weren't there for?
it's also like that show with the doctors. What's the name of that stupid show?
What, Doctor Who?
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, Grey's
Yeah.
Anatomy. Yeah, Grey's Anatomy. Like, girl, you went there for the entire part. What are you talking about narrating at the end of this
I remember when I was reading the Dragon Ball manga, Yamcha suggests to Goku that he should use the Kamehameha, and Yamcha's like, I know I was not there when Master Roshi told you this power, but yeah, please use the Kamehameha. I'm like, yeah, you're right, you were not there actually.
At least he explains himself.
Yeah.
And also, Goku just learned it. I don't know how, because in the anime he just does it. I think like because they're stuck in a room, he doesn't
Yeah.
know how to get out, and he just does it.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
that's
guess,
that's when he does it. He saw it. Roshi used it once against a mountain that was on fire
Mm.
and
yeah.
put out the flames. And Goku then tried to use it on a car and blew it up. And like, wow, okay, that's how it works. And ever since then, he's like, okay, you know what? I know this technique.
Yeah. But
It
Yamcha
took,
actually is the one that suggested that he should tear down that wall using that thing.
It
But
took
anyway,
50 years for this old man to learn this technique, and you did it in a day.
plot armor, my friend. Plot armor.
Is well,
The
I mean,
disrespect.
to Akira's credit, he explains it afterwards, basically. So
Afterwards, what's the explanation? I need to know.
no, the explanation is that he's a Saiyan chief.
Oh, okay. No,
Oh, yeah.
No,
Come.
because if you look at how Goku excels past everybody in
yeah.
Dragon Ball, he had to be an alien. So
Yeah, because I mean, at a point, Krillin was stronger than him for a while, actually. So,
Then Jiggy. Then we have yeah, I know. That's why compared to like Naruto had to learn the Rasengan, and you could see his training to learn the Rasengan. Even Ichigo had to learn the Getsuga Tensho, and the training he went through to finally learn the Getsuga Tensho. I would spam that move for the rest of my life. Like Goku had to like, oh, that's a nice move. Kamehameha.
yeah. Okay, guys.
That's
all
Once
right,
good.
again,
yeah.
thank you so
Anyway,
much.
we're
We'll
doing the outro for
definitely
10 minutes now.
Yes.
we'll definitely
Peace.
see you on the next episode. From myself, MeisterGeek, Buckmeister Cool, and Tebello. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Yes.